it this time. I go for mine. I get to shine. Now throw your hands up in the sky. I go for mine. I get to shine. Now throw your hands up in the sky.
Hello, everybody. It's me, Jason Calacanis, your pal. You're watching This Week in Startups, episode number, Tyler? 13. Tyler's microphone is working this week. And looks like, just from pulling up Twitter immediately, Scott Simcoe is here. Everybody knows Scott Simcoe actually does the recap.
Yeah.
This Week in Startups.
Yeah,
What's it called?
Amazing job at it, by the way. Thanks.
I think it's called This Week in Startups Recap or something, or I don't know. Anyway, it's linked off of thisweekinstartups.com. And I just want to give everybody, we're going to do a lot of contests and try to really innovate what is a sponsorship. And this is part of a bigger discussion for the show and for entrepreneurs, which is trying to create value for your customers. We could do a whole show about creating value for customers. But what I'm trying to do with This Week in Startups is show you guys, a lot of entrepreneurs out there who are new, how to create value for the sponsors. And the sponsors, as you know, make the show possible, so we're all very thankful for them. It's our Giri, our G-I-R-I, a Giri. Tyler, you know what Giri is?
Yeah, Giri, yeah.
Giri.
G-I-R-I, yeah.
G-I-R-I. You can look it up on Wikipedia, but it is our Giri to embrace and thank the sponsors. Everybody knows the sponsors of the show. We give them a little rundown. And the people who are listening to the show, it is their Giri. It is their noble honor. It's their commitment. It's their duty. It's like a duty.
Yeah.
It's your duty to thank the sponsors if you love the show. If the show gives you value, thank the sponsors. But we have a bigger thing here, which is I'm trying to figure out how do I make it so that the sponsors are so in love with doing the show that they're on tilt. Like full tilt. Sponsored me for the World Series of Poker. Good guys. And so one of the things is you guys tweeting. So everybody knows we have 4 sponsors right now for the show. DNA Mail, everybody loves DNA Mail. They came by the office. And DNA Mail hosts your servers. This makes things really easy. If you have a startup company, you don't want to be screwing around with IT departments and servers and all this other nonsense. So you just get DNA Mail. They manage all your Exchange servers, your Google apps. They do a really good job. I'm talking about doing some stuff with Mahalo with them. And then, of course, we have WebSpy. You get to know what the hell's going on in your corporation, in your business. You get to block people from going to porn sites if you can't have that at work, or you let them see themselves what they're spending their time on. So the best thing is to give like a biofeedback to your employees. They can see, God damn it, I spent 8 hours on Facebook this week. I could have spent that on Mahalo Answers. Not that I'm pointing out anybody in particular at Mahalo.
You look right at me, right as you say.
I look right, every time I go by your desk, Facebook's open. I don't know what's going on over there.
Not Facebook.
There's a lot of pokes on Tyler's Facebook going on.
A lot of fun wall.
A lot of fun wall going on. A little too much fun wall, not enough Mahalo answering. Anyway, and Ustream. Boy, did the Ustream guys tore it up last week, didn't they? Everybody loved that show.
Brad and John.
Ustream,
Yeah,
Brad,
great guys,
they're good guys. And they're I like those Marine guys, like military guys.
They got the Giri.
They got the Giri, and they work hard and they kick ass. And there's a good conversation we had about young people not being schmucks and working hard and doing good stuff.
Yep.
And so anyway, if you love the program, Twitter right now, thanks to, and of course Audible, but we'll talk about that during homework. And I've got a special announcement with regard to the Audible thing that we'll talk about later. But right now, you have the opportunity to thank, and you can see I'm pulling up my Twitter here, thank at DNA Mail, at Audible_COM, thank at WebSpy, and thank at DNA Mail. And we have one other sponsor, but they're not starting this week, they start next week, Alex or something?
Great.
Waiting for all this paperwork or whatever nonsense. Anyway, five sponsors. Show sold out. What that means is we have a profitable. I mean, just at this point, like when the 5th sponsor was in, it's become a profitable. The show is profitable.
Yeah.
Already, and it's 25,000 people watching every episode. So I'm thinking we have to take it to another level. I had this idea. We have Scott Simcoe writing a review of the show. I always ask people, rate the show. Tell us 1 to 10, the greatest show ever, the worst show, you suck, you suck less, whatever. But I want a little more from the audience. So for the people who hear my voice right now, whether you're watching it live or you download it on your iTunes, TWiST episode 13. I want a lot of people, hopefully, to write a review of the show. I want an honest review. What's good, what's bad, the guest, the news reader, the lighting, Tyler's insights, everything. I want just a blow-by-blow of the show. You could do it by minute. You could do it any way you want. You could be creative. You could spend 5 minutes on it. You could spend an hour on it. I don't care. I want you to recap the show. I want you to write the recap of the show. I don't know. I think maybe 5 people will do this. Because you do these kind of contests. Not a lot of people do them. But the people who do them do a good job. So I'm thinking maybe 5 people will do this. The best review, as determined by the bestestness, it's a technical term. The best review is going to get, from me personally, the iPhone 3GS.
Holy smokes.
Or, because, you see, there's a problem with giving the iPhone 3GS. I can't give it to you because the person who makes the iPhone 3GS won't let you just buy one. You have to buy it with a contract, and you have to go and you give them a bio, you have to cut your thumb off or something. How do you get an iPhone without...
They have a new kidney exchange program.
Kidney exchange or something. It's crazy. You can't just buy an iPhone. I don't understand that. Like every other phone you can just buy, but you can't buy an iPhone unless you have a contract. They know your name. You bring a passport. Your mom signs something, and then you have to. Your kid's got to put
and a note from somebody like a technical advisor.
A technical advisor who's going to say
that you can use the phone.
You can technically able to use it. It's like the DMV or something to get a goddamn. It is like going to the DMV to get an iPhone. Right. Anyway, so given that Steve Jobs is insanely brilliant. That's for the fanboys. He's also insanely lovable. Anyway, we're not going to get into that. That was 2 weeks ago. Although somebody did. Speaking of the fans, I asked the fans to take, cut this out and make it a thing. And my Apple fanboy rant made it onto the Dig front page. I don't know how many people that rant. Maybe 100,000 people saw it. I don't know. Which is pretty good for the show. And we've got some exciting things coming up on the show. We'll talk about that later, about future guests and locations, because I think we have 4 remotes coming up. 4. Mm-hmm. 2 conferences, and then 2 from Sequoia's offices. It's crazy. Yep. The show's on the road a lot.
Yeah.
And I have to take you guys to, Athens.
Oh, Greece, yeah.
Yeah, because I'm going to go to Greece probably.
That would be awesome.
For that thing. Maybe we'll have to do it in Athens. Anyway, whoever writes the best one, I'm going to make it easy. I'm just going to send you a $500 gift card to Apple. Because the iPhone is $200. Mm-hmm. Maybe it's $300 if you get the one with a lot of memory. And I think, what is the average bill for the iPhone? It costs about $700-800 a month. Is that the basic plan is $700 a month?
I think they'll take small children in lieu of the bill.
The bill, right, yeah. Mm-hmm. So I think it's about $700 a month for an iPhone. No, it's probably, $60 or $70 a month? So anyway, I'm just going to give you $500 to the bestest, is a technical term, the most bestest review. This is the most bestest review of episode number 13. You can start writing your review right now. You can include my new military haircut in it. This is my summer cut when I just shave it all down. And whoever does the best review, that is most bestest as determined by Tyler and myself. Maybe we'll have Alex read some. We'll just send you the $500 gift card. Maybe this gets some interest in the show. I'm thinking if people write a review, but don't write like a suck-up review. Just write like a legit review of the show.
Now, are you looking for a blog post or an email, or how do you want it?
I want it I want a URL. Uh-huh. So it could be a blog. It could be the URL of your Tumblr. I don't know. Postgres,
right.
Facebook URL. I don't care where you put it. It's almost on the web, and we'll put each of them on thisweekinstartups.com. So if people want to win the iPhone, do that. I just want people to review the show.
Yeah.
I want to get feedback.
Right.
The way I'm looking at this is $500 for feedback. The show's profitable. This is something I can invest in the show, get your feedback on what makes it better. And the crazy thing is, look at this, like 52 people just tweeted. It's unbelievable. The audience is incredible. Do we have the We Live in Public? We Live in Public trailers on the way. I'm going to play for you guys the We Live in Public trailer. We Live in Public is a great film done by Andy Timoner, who won Sundance with We Live in Public and previously won Sundance with their film Dig. It's about the internet. It's a documentary. My friend Josh Harris of Pseudo.com is in it. It's about him and his life in Silicon Alley. And I'm in it for about, 4 scenes?
More than that.
Maybe 5 scenes.
You got about 15 minutes in the film.
Maybe 10 minutes max. But pretty good minute. I mean, I'd say some...
Yeah.
I'd say some good stuff.
I was impressed.
It's a great documentary film. And the documentary film, We Live in Public, is launching in New York tonight, Friday.
Yep.
And so I want to play for you the trailer, but that's coming up. And, we're ready. So anyway, We Live in Public, it is an awesome, awesome film about the dehumanizing effects of social networking and always on and cameras everywhere. It's scary. And we're going to play it for you right now. So I'm going to go in the chat room. I'll be talking to you guys in the Ustream chat room. I want to hear what you think of the show so far. And here we go. Let's play the We Live in Public trailer.
The internet's like this new human experience. At first, everybody's going to like it, but there will be a fundamental change in the human condition. And one day, we're all going to wake up and realize that we're just servants. It's captured us.
It was genius because nobody had done it yet.
He was saying this is the way it's going to be. And he was right. I mean, he was right.
He was selling companies for a couple $1 million. Well, we were all a bunch of kids getting paid $10 an hour to try and figure out HTML.
Josh was one of these incredible new idols everybody suddenly wanted to be.
I'm in a race to take CBS out of business.
He was always trying to advance the inevitable. This is going to happen. Let's try it now.
It is our function as artists to make the spectator see the world our way.
People want 15 minutes of fame every day. So we built a bunker and showed them the future.
I'm an alligator. I'm a mama, papa coming for you.
We're going to record Stasi-type intelligence.
The cameras were everywhere. There was cameras set up in the showers and the toilets.
Is there anything graphic on the TV?
They're eating and shitting and having sex in public, and people ate it up.
Keep your electric on me, babe.
This was one of the most extraordinary activities I've ever attended anywhere in the world. Really, the question starts to become, who is behind this? What's going on?
I joined the cult.
Everything is free except the video that we capture of you. That we own.
Freak out in a moon age daydream. Oh, yeah.
Welcome to We Live in Public. And he said, I want to put 32 cameras in the loft, wire to the internet, and I want us to be the first couple to live in public. It was viewable to the masses.
There was the giddy first month.
There was all this press and hype, and they're going to conceive in public.
Get a fucking porn star and have sex all over the house in public.
It wasn't just We Live in Public. He was going down financially.
I need to tell you, you got a negative balance in your checking account.
Okay, bye.
It's all gotta come out sooner or later. It's all gotta come out.
I just don't want to give him anything more.
Leave now. Out.
Josh was the puppet master.
I want to know why he's doing business in this manner.
All I know is I came downstairs and saw a bunch of people running around naked and shooting firearms.
I heard someone tell me that they were rolling around in a fucking pod.
Shut up, I'm talking!
It was just a crazy and somewhat dangerous scene because you knew that someone was going to flip out.
She grabbed my throat. 6, 5,
Basically, all hell broke loose. He's gonna wind up in jail.
Speaking to you virtually is how I know how to do this best.
Everything that he does is a precursor to something that is going to happen to all of us. Everything.
A few hundred years ago, the lions and tigers were kings of the jungle. And then one day they wound up in zoos. I suspect we're in the same trap.
Awesome. We Live in Public, in theaters in New York City, starting tonight. If you go buy a ticket, I'm trying all this crazy stuff, Tyler, about like sponsorships. I don't own any of the movie. I'm like in it for 2 seconds. I just saw, but I'm trying to see if I can get the audience to actually make an impact on the real world. And there's a lot of you now. There's thousands, tens of thousands of you. So I know some of you in New York. Anybody who buys a ticket to We Live in Public in the next week, let's say, the first 100 people to do that and email a copy of the ticket stub or the Fandango, you take a picture with your iPhone of the ticket stub. Do that. Take a picture of yourself with the ticket stub, whatever. Just the ticket stub proves you're there, right? Yep. You send that to contact@thisweekinstartups.com. Alex gets it, and I'm going to send you a Mahalo pack. which is like a Mahalo bag, which you see the Mahalo logo there. There's an iPhone case in it for the iPhone that you may win. There's a hat. A Mahalo hat is in there. That's a Mahalo hat. A Mahalo mug's in there. God, how much venture capital do we have that we can buy all this shit? Oh, there you go. 120, please edit that out. And a Mahalo beach towel, which is pretty freaking awesome, if I do say so. This is the best piece of swag we ever made. Can you see it on the screen? Because I'm behind it. Almost? More towards you? All right. I can't. Anyway, it's too big, and there's the Mahalo logo, and there's a Mahalo on it, and it's the Mahalo beach towel. So you get the beach towel, the bag. I feel like it's starting to feel like this is a PBS drive. I want people to see the movie.
More like Vanna White.
It's a little bit like Vanna White. What exactly are you saying? No. Anyway, go see the movie. It's absolutely awesome. I love the film. I was there at Sundance when it won. I guarantee you'll love this film. If you go see the film, email us the stub. I want to see if I can get 100 people to do this. I think I can get 100.
The movie is going to be sold out.
It's going to be sold out, but I want to get 100 people.
By the way, if you think you are a social media guru,
if
you think you are anything at all to do with social media,
right,
you know nothing. If
you
you
know
have
nothing.
not seen this film,
If you have not seen this film, if you fancy yourself a social media expert, until you see this film, you know ungats, nothing, zero, zip, zilch. Tyler's right. That's an incredible insight, Tyler.
Insight from Tyler.
Thank you. Somebody's awake out there. Jesus. Somebody complained that I say Jesus Christ and God damn it too much. Are those curse words? Well, Jesus Christ. That's this guy emailing me about this. I think I lost a listener. He said I should have an adult tag on the show because I say Jesus Christ too much. Anyway. So there's all the swag. You get the mug, the thing, this. All you gotta do is just tell us that you went to see the movie, email it, blah, 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 blah. 100, first 100, which I think will take a week. I don't know if, maybe nobody will go see it. This is an idea. If this works, I want to have the Jason Nation, all these crazy, rabid TWiST fans start doing crazy stuff. Like, I think we could start influencing stuff.
Right,
like,
well, it's getting to a point where there's enough people where you can actually cause change of sorts.
Yes.
That's where it gets fun.
That's where it gets fun.
Right.
So can we, Alex, since you're out there not doing anything, make sure we put a blog post about the We Live in Public New York giveaway, Mahalo Pack, how to do it. You know, just explain it on the blog so people who can go to thisweekinstartups.com and get the information. We have a great guest this week, Matt Mickiewicz. I pronounced it correct, Matt?
Yes, you did.
Mickiewicz. It's like Mixoplex. You know who Mixoplex is?
No,
You don't know who Mixoplex is? You know who Mixoplex is?
The cartoon character?
Mixoplex was, I'm pulling it up right now, if I can find it. I don't even know how to spell it. He was like the evil, impish guy in,
yes.
What was the...
Very small,
he was like the he was like the Galactus of the DC world or something like that. Somebody in the chat room, some nerd in the chat room will tell me who Mixoplex was, please. But you had to say his name backwards or something and he showed up.
That's right.
It was some superhero stuff. Anyway, Mickiewicz is the founder of SitePoint Forums. He doesn't want to say SitePoint Forums, but you guys probably know it as SitePoint Forums. But SitePoint's a lot of other things, a publishing company. He started this thing 10 years ago. It makes millions of dollars a year. He also does 99 Designs, which is something I said on the program last week, the week before. I told somebody, the guy with the trading cards.
Yeah.
Which, Alex, what was that guy's name? The guy who did the trading cards thing, did he actually post it? And I think I retweeted it. So we got to have him on the show next week for an update maybe, or maybe when we get back from TechCrunch 50. But anyway, 99 Designs is a site that I just love. I'm going to get into it later, but it's basically a spec work site where you put up, like, I'm looking for this logo for This Week in Startups. I'm willing to pay $100, $200, $500. A bunch of different people actually put up what they think you want. You tell them, I like 3, 7, 8, 15. I don't like these two, and I like the coloring in this one. They all take that feedback, and they keep competing. They do it 2 or 3 times, and then you get a logo for like $200, $300, $400. This is what entrepreneurs and startup companies need. You can't go spend $5,000 on a logo. I mean, the Mahalo logo cost, I think, $2,000, $1,500. I hired the best guy in the business who made the Firefox logo for it. But I had a lot of venture capital. My last company, Weblog Sync, I wasn't going to blow that kind of cash on it and hire the top guy in the world because I was establishing myself and I wanted to save money. I used 99 Designs. It's a brilliant company. But before I interview you about it, so welcome to the program. You've seen the program.
Yeah, definitely.
Enjoy the program?
Yeah, it's been good. I sat through all 2 hours last week.
Oh, you were through all 2 hours last week? That was a good show with the Ustream guys. They're smart guys. Where are you based?
I'm in Vancouver, Canada. We have an office in San Francisco, and HQ is in Melbourne, Australia.
Okay, so you're basically everywhere.
Everywhere.
Okay, and didn't I say last week there's no companies of note in Canada?
Yes.
Okay, so I was wrong about that. Listen, I'm going to say a lot of things on the show. I can tell you right now, most of them are going to be correct. Not all will be correct. So the Canada thing I'm wrong about, because there's also 2 houses in Canada. You guys are in Canada.
iStock Photo?
iStock Photo is in Canada. So these are 3 companies in Canada. So there apparently are 3 companies in Canada. Is there any other companies in Canada?
Makers of BlackBerry.
Oh, RIM. That was the big one I messed up. So there is actually one major billion-dollar company. Are there any other billion-dollar companies in Canada?
Nortel before their stock went down.
Oh, Nortel, yes. They're worth about 18 cents right now, right?
I think so.
Right, okay. So anyway, so BlackBerry's there, RIM, that's like worth billions of... How many people do they employ? Tens of thousands,
Tens
right?
of thousands.
And where are they based?
Eastern Canada.
So what percentage of Canadians are employed by RIM? How many people live in Canada? 30?
30 million?
30 million, right? See, isn't it amazing I know the population of every country? I do this all the time. I know exactly how many people live in it. But it's got the landmass of the United States, right? Or almost?
Almost.
Yeah. 30 million people there, huh? 10% of the size, about the same size, but 10% of the people. So if somebody in the chat room tells us how many people work at RIM, we could actually figure out this statistic. But I think a large percentage of the country works at RIM. The first part of the show, you probably know, is Ask Jason.
Yep.
And we have 2 callers. And the first one's name is Stuart. Just so people know, point of order, I don't get the questions before the show. You hear the questions at the same time I hear the questions. So it's not like I'm doing some research on this or anything. Just, you know, I hear them, I give my honest opinion. Sometimes it's right, sometimes it's wrong. So, do we have the first caller for Ask Jason? Let's see that. There we go. Speakerphone. Okay. Whoa, Stuart.
Yes.
Where are you calling from, Stuart? I see 310. What's the 310 exactly?
I'm from Maryland.
Maryland. Absolutely. Yeah. Very cool. And you a big fan of the show?
Big fan. Just started watching.
Really? How'd you find out about the show?
TWiST, obviously.
Oh, you were listening to This Week in Tech, Leo Laporte. Awesome show.
Yeah.
Basically gave me my start in podcasting, sort of.
Definitely.
And more importantly, let me use the name. Not that I had to, but he was cool about it. So, you have a question for us on This Week in Startups. Go ahead, let's hear it.
Because I just noticed that all the companies that you profile and invest in are mostly websites. They're software services.
Yes.
How likely is it for somebody to entrepreneur a consumer electronics hardware company?
Wow. So this is a great question. Consumer hardware is typically very expensive, and you're going up against companies like Sony, Apple, Nokia. You know, pick your poison. I mean, it's very hard. That being said, of late, there have been some hardware companies that have made it. Something is changing in the hardware industry. It's easier to prototype something. It's easier to have something made because you have all these massive factories making for a lot of different people. In fact, Apple doesn't make their products at an Apple factory. They subcontract, right, to people in Shenzhen and all these other places. So, in recent history, we've seen 2 major exits. Flip, which was a venture capital-backed little tiny video camera. I think I don't know what they got sold for. It was maybe $500 million or $250. And Flip was, you know, like Oprah got really crazy about it. I have 2 of the Flip Minnows. She just, you know, and you say to yourself, why does this little cigarette box-sized camera become a hit? Why does it take Flip to make it? Why didn't Sony make it? Well, it had no features in it. They basically made it so it had a big red button, reverse, forward, pause, and a power button. No features. No menu. There's no menu on the thing. There's no menu button. You turn it on, you take it, that's it. There's a zoom. That's it, like digital zoom. So they had an idea. They were zigging where everybody else was zagging. They said, Sony's going to put 1,000 features. I mean, you ever get in the menu of a Sony camera? Mm-hmm. I mean, seriously, I think it looks like the periodic table when you hit it. And I think you need to have like a PhD in chemistry or something to navigate a Sony menu. There's 8 levels of menus. I can't find anything on it. And I think maybe 1% of the features on a Sony camera get used on average. You agree with that, Tyler?
No, that's a good point.
I mean, it's insane. And it's so intimidating for people like Oprah, my wife, me, that you just don't wind up buying it. So the flip was like, it's $199, anybody can use it. They had a big sale to Cisco, I believe. Second one, which is very interesting, I saw a couple years ago, was Slingbox. Slingbox was doing something that was sort of felt a little illegal, maybe a little dicey, that maybe a set-top box manufacturer, Time Warner or somebody could have made, should have made, but didn't. So again, zigging where everybody else was zagging. The Slingbox allowed you to plug into your DirecTV and send that signal to your laptop. DirecTV doesn't want you doing that. Cable companies don't want you doing that. Cable channels don't want you doing it. It's like a bad deal all around for them, because if you are doing that, you're not buying another set-top box. They don't think big, like maybe this is an additive thing or an opportunity. So again, both those examples, they zig with a zag. But then there was the OQO, who was trying to do like a mini handheld computer, and they wiped out. It's hard to do hardware. It's not easy, and it takes a lot of cash, but less than it used to. So we're sort of in a new moment in time, I think, where it might be more possible to do these things. And so that's what you're thinking of doing, is a hardware product?
I love consumer electronics, and I like to get into that.
Yeah,
definitely with a UI perspective, yeah.
So I think you have to come up with an idea that zigs where everybody zags. So do you have a specific space you're thinking about? MP3s? Are you thinking about keyboards? Are you thinking about mice? Are you thinking about, USB drives? What's your milieu, if I may?
Microcomputers are getting very cheap. You can probably have the internet. I don't know what to say.
Yeah.
I was so nervous.
Don't be nervous. It's okay. It's just a podcast. It's not like you're calling into CNBC or something. Yeah.
Definitely.
So you like the little microcomputers and that kind of thing, and you're trying to...
Not microcomputers, but like any application you have on your computer, definitely think about pulling that out and making that a hardware device.
Yeah. This is what... listen. To show you how easy it is to do this, or how easier it's becoming, even Mike Arrington is now getting into the hardware business. If Mike Arrington can do it, it makes it pretty... Mike Arrington's the least technical guy you'll ever meet. No, it's not true. He's my partner on the TechCrunch 50 conference, but he wants to make a tablet, which is basically, he wants to make a hardware device that is Firefox or Chrome. He just wants to boot up Linux and start surfing the web when he's on a couch watching, whatever. What does he watch? Desperate Housewives. And so there's that kind of inspiration. So do you have an application you think people want a hardware footprint for instead?
Just I know there are plenty of Wi-Fi radios out there, but I've never seen one that does more focused on podcasts. They're all music and music services.
This is a good idea. I very much want to have the ability to, with my iPhone-like device, download podcasts in the background. And I don't see why I shouldn't be able to do this. I guess AT&T's network is so horrible that they don't want anybody doing anything, sucking down any data, because AT&T is the suck. But this would be a really cool device if you could be downloading. This is people have been talking about this device for a long time, which is a device specifically, I think, for recording a podcast, hitting save and uploading it, like the iPhone 3GS does for YouTube videos, doing it for podcasts, where you could plug in 2 microphones, put them on stands, record a podcast, level the noise, upload it to a podcasting service with 1 click. So if I could be doing interviews on the road, save it, type a title in, and upload it. It's a great idea. So I think you should look into that, both from the downloading the podcast side, but also from the making of the podcast side. So it's possible. And the way to do it now, it seems, is to do 100 units or 1,000 unit run and have people order the product in advance. And if you get to 500 orders at $50 a piece, then you do it. What is the name of that crowdsourcing website where everybody puts pledges towards building something out of New York? I forgot the name of this.
99 Design?
No, it's not 99 Design. That's a competition site. The one I'm talking about, somebody will know this in the chat room. Somebody type it into the chat room or somebody do research. It's a collaboration site where I can say, like, I want to do an opera I want to do Romeo and Juliet set in Williamsburg in the 80s and donate $100. I need to get $2,000 to do this, and people donate, and it's like donors choose.
I'll have it in a minute.
But it's not donors choose, because donors choose is to like get people the new classroom stuff. It's something else that's similar. God, nobody knows. How can nobody knows this thing? It would be on Silicon Alley Insider or something. Is it Kickstarter? Is that it? No, not Challenge Post. It's Kickstarter, I think. Kickstarter. Let's see. Kickstarter, I think. No. Kickstarter. Anyway, there is something like this. Do you know it?
No. I don't know what you're talking of, though.
You know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah.
Spot.us?
Anyway, somebody will do this. We'll put it on the site. We'll talk about it. No, here it is. It is Kickstarter. I got it. Pull up my computer, please. Thank you. Fund ideas and endeavors. Kickstarter is a funding platform for artists, designers, filmmakers, musicians, journalists, inventors, and explorers. This sounds like it's for you, Stuart.
Yes.
So, Stuart, you can go to this one, or there's also Challenge Post, which, full disclosure, I just invested $25,000 in. It's one of my 10 angel investments I'm trying to do. I've done 2. You should put your challenge on Challenge Post that you want somebody to design, like come up with the perfect design for this, like the electronic design. You can make it open source, and tell them what you want the specs to be. You want to be able to record it has to be 2-channel podcasting. It has to have this kind of storage device, like an SD card maybe. What's this? Compact flash is probably the cheapest. It has to have removable batteries, and it has to have Wi-Fi and the ability to upload, to this kind of a service. And somebody builds, you could probably say, I'll give $500 or I'll give $100, and if you put it on Challenge Post, I'll put $100 on. So challenge somebody to design it. What is that called when you make the design of the hardware device? A spec or something? I don't know what they call it, but
prototype.
The prototype. Well, they're not going to build the prototype. They build sort of the spec. This is how to build the prototype. Yeah. But anyway, you should look at these collaboration sites, because it's a way to help you find friends who might be into this. And there's definitely people who are into this, sort of open source hardware thing. So good luck with it. Any other questions for us?
That's it, actually.
Awesome.
Thank you.
So we'll keep us informed.
Okay.
Okay, cheers, mate. All right. Don't be nervous calling in. This is not a big deal. I mean, I'm a little worried. If you're nervous about calling into this show, how are you going to be when you're calling Shenzhen and negotiating the contract for these things? You need to get a negotiator on your team. Okay, Tim, caller number 2 from the 480. I don't even know what the 480 is. Did you say Silicon Alley?
Valley.
Oh, Silicon Valley. Industrial design, yes. Thank you, Blazman. Blazman says industrial design.
We're unable to get him on the phone.
Okay, so then let's move to the next segment. Oh, we got Tim. We got Tim. Okay, send Tim through. This is a live television show, I guess. Podcast. Sometimes the live caller drops off or whatever. And here he comes. This is Tim. Tim. Hello, Tim. Are you there?
Yes, sir. Jason, how are you?
I'm good, Tim. Speak right into the phone and tell us, what is your question?
Well, I'm with Splat Technology, co-founder. We do mobile app development, and we're based in Arizona. We've made a number of contacts, some of which are with some, kind of larger companies and organizations, and they have positive feedback. Hey, yeah, we'd love to do an app. We're excited about app development for iPhone, BlackBerry, Palm Pre, whatever.
Yeah.
But how does a small fish like us, just getting rolling, how do we qualify some of these big guys? How do we know that they're sincerely interested? Kind of what's the next step after they give us the, hey, yeah, that's sweet.
Tim, that is an excellent question. This is what big companies do. When I was at AOL, a lot of my friends would ask me, can I get an introduction to AOL? I want to tap those 100 million people coming every month. You are now working at AOL. You sold them your company, Weblogs Inc. How can I get a meeting? And I'd say, I can get you a meeting. This is not a problem. Just be aware that you may do 5 meetings, 10 phone calls, and it may never go anywhere. And this is not unique to AOL. This is every company, Yahoo, Google, IBM, Microsoft, every big company. It takes forever to make decisions. They have tons of business development people, and the only reason those business development people exist is to take meetings. So what they do is they take meetings, and they make friends with you, because their whole existence is based upon making friends with people and doing meetings and looking busy. But they can only do, what, 2 deals, 3 deals, 4 deals a year? Let's just say it's 1 a quarter. That's all they can really absorb is one a quarter. So if they're doing one deal a quarter, that means you got 4 shots. They're probably doing 15 meetings a week. That means they're meeting with over 500 people a year for 4 slots. It's like a 2% chance or a 4% chance of getting the deal, and you'll never know that. And you can have the best pitch in the world, but they just have a limited amount of bandwidth, and they got all these entrepreneurs coming in the front door trying to get it. So what you have to do as an entrepreneur is protect yourself, which is assume it's not going to happen. Assume 6 meetings in, 7 meetings in, 8 meetings in, it's not going to happen. I mean, you can be positive about it and, rah, 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 but you have to run your business as if I'm going to go to 20 of these meetings and one's going to happen. And you have to sort of properly allocate your time. And it's always good to say to the person, listen, I know you guys got a lot on your plate. Is this something you guys think you can execute on in the next 30 days, 60 days, or 90 days, or more? And I would ask them straight up, like, do you think you want an iPhone application or an Android application in the next 30 days or over 30 days? Because we have 3 other clients right now, and if you guys are not in it, we'll stay in touch with you, but we'll just put in our books to set up lunch in 35 days. You got to sort of, this is called managing clients, right? I mean, you have to manage them, because if not, they're just going to suck your life out of you. That's just the nature of it.
That makes sense. So get a time frame. Try to get a time frame out of them.
Yeah.
Maybe even in the first meeting, hey, yeah, we'd love an app. Mahalo would love an iPhone app or an Android app. Well, hey, Jason, what do you think? 60 days? Think we can get one done? Something like that?
Right, exactly. And what I would say to you is, well, we've already built the Mahalo Answers application. It's going to be in the store. We'll have it out next month. We're going to see how it does for 2 or 3 months. And at that point, we'll know if we should invest any more in iPhone applications, if it's worth it. And what you should take from that is, if I say 2 or 3 months, that means probably 4 to 6 months I'm going to take to evaluate it, and then maybe I'm going to be able to do it, unless it's a runaway hit. And if it's a runaway hit, I may want to do 3 of them immediately. So what you have to do is just email me and say, like, how did the app, the answers go? Do you think you want to pull the trigger on another one for, topic pages or for tasks or something, whatever, And that's I think you have to manage the client and just be very blunt with them. And tell them you're busy. Say, I know you're really busy. I don't want to waste your time. Those are the people who wind up being the salespeople I like a lot. When somebody calls me from a CDN and they're like, "Hi, how you doing? I'm from this CDN and I was wondering how do you get your bandwidth?" and da da da. I'm just like, we have a bandwidth provider. We're very happy. We're in contract for the next year. It comes up on this date. You can call me 15 days out from that date. And they're like, "Okay, let's get lunch." And I'm like, "No, there's no reason to get lunch." And those are the people who piss people off. People asking to have lunch and this and that. I think you'd have like this slow kind of thing, like, "Hey, we built this iPhone application. Check it out. Here's a URL. If you're interested in an iPhone application, let us know." And then go wide and get as many of those people as possible and have 200 emails in your email database of 200 different companies, each that you can email a one-liner to, like, "Hey, here's our new iPhone app. Here's our latest thing. If you guys want one, let us know." This way you don't put all your eggs in one basket. I don't know, Matt. What do you think?
Sounds like you need a salesperson to do all this.
Yeah, do you have a salesperson doing all this, or are you like the owner-operator doing it?
Yeah, there's a couple of us involved in the startup, and we're kind of all the sales guys.
Yeah, so you're selling and you build it, or?
No, we do. We contract out some developers. We have a couple in-house, and
I see.
A couple that we contract out. So
yeah,
we're doing the management and sales.
Yeah, so I mean, these companies will waste your time. Another thing you can do though is make lightweight ways for them to engage your product. This is what open source is all about. So if you had an open source version of your product or a free version, this is the freemium model. So let's say your product was, I don't know, it's an application that lets you, I don't know, download my website, and have it locally. So when I'm on, or something, I don't know what it is, like download. What could you download from a website?
RSS feed.
RSS feed. You have an application that downloads the RSS feed of your site. You could say, "Hey, we made it for free for you. Here it is in beta. You can download it here." And just give it to them for free and say, "If you want to have the official version, we'll clean it up or whatever." But at least you could start them with something, So maybe there's something.
We thought of that. It's a good idea.
Yeah, if you can, and they call that freemium. Free is the road to paid. So a lot of people do that. They upsell. So I like doing that. What I've done for Mahalo, we're doing these sort of site takeovers and wraparounds on the site. So I know people at different companies. So what I do is I know the guy from Best Buy. I know the guy from Radio Shack. I know the guy from Virgin, the woman from Virgin America. I like to just make something. I have my creative department make it with their logo and with their stuff. And then I just email it to them and say, "If you want something like this, let me know." And what happens is then they can visualize it and they realize you've done something and are qualified, and you've thought about it, and they can start the discussion. So whenever anybody emails me and says, hey, we see Mahalo is the number 200 site, it's got 10 million uniques, or back in the Engadget days, oh, we want to get involved in Engadget, I would just say, well, show me what it looks like, make me a mock-up. And they'd say, okay, and then they would disappear. And I'm like, well, you want to be a partner and you wouldn't even make a mock-up of how your service would look integrated into our service? Well, then we're obviously not that important to you. And then other ones would email me and say, like, hey, here's how Discuss, that commenting software would look on your blog, calicanis.com, and they actually send it. Or they make a copy of it and say, hey, here's how user voice works. Or what was the other one? Is user voice, and the other feedback one. They just sort of make the site for you, and they show you a template, and like, here it is. That kind of stuff gets people to buy, I think, when they can actually visualize it. So if you're selling something and you have an idea for a Mahalo application, I would go to your designer and say, hey, make this. Boom. Put a designer on staff. Go to 99 Designs and ask them to design it out for you.
That makes sense. Yeah, I like that.
I love
a little bit of investment, but it could pay off. I like it.
And that's one of the things I do with people, because I do sales myself, because I love to sell. I will contact like the CMO of some big ass company, and I'll be like, hey, I've got something to show you. I'll find them on Facebook or LinkedIn. I'll be like, I've got something I want to email you. What's the best email address to send you a mock-up I made for Best Buy or for this or for that? And they're like, oh, well, you've got something to show me. Sure, I'll give you my email address. I'm not asking to waste your time. It's like, I want to shoot you a quick email showing you what we're working on. And that kind of stuff, people appreciate the brevity of it.
I got it.
All right, man. Good. It's a good question. It's a good question. How do you deal with big companies? Thanks for calling in. Okay. Now the next segment, we're going to have somebody actually pitch us.
Okay.
You're going to be part of the pitch. You're going to be like one of my sharks. You know Dragon's Den?
I do. I love that show.
You love Dragon's Den? What do you think of Shark Tank?
I haven't seen Shark Tank.
You haven't seen Shark Tank. So here's the nonsense that Tyler and I went through last year. No offense to Burnett and ABC, but fail. I mean, these guys, they call us 2 or 3 times. They're like, we really want Jason to be on Shark Tank. I'm like, what's Shark Tank? They're like, oh, it's Dragon's Den. And we had just been in London, and all these people were telling us, oh, Dragon's Den, you should do a Dragon's Den thing. And I'm like, oh, that's interesting. And then Burnett's people call ABC, oh, yeah, they want me to come in. And so I give it to Tyler. Tyler calls them back like twice, and they don't call back. It's very strange, right?
This is reality TV.
Anyway, I don't need to be on reality TV. I've got my own show. But why would you call twice and sell me on it? It's like sort of unprofessional in a way. They call me, they sell me on being a judge on Shark Tank. And I don't know if you've seen it, but it's got potential, but I'd say half the judges, not so good. So,
did you see what Cuban said about it this week?
What did he say?
Mark Cuban goes,
they asked him to be on too, by the way.
Yeah, but you know what he said about Shark Tank? You know what Shark Tank needs? Jason Calacanis.
He said that?
This week.
Really?
On Twitter. Look at his tweets.
I will have to look at that. Well, it would be, I think that this is my Shark Tank. Me, Mark Cuban, Mark Andreessen.
Oh my God, it's a whole different show.
And then, who else would be? Maybe Esther Dyson, who's like doing a lot of angel investing. She's smart, and she's like kind of blunt. She would be like a little rough on people, maybe. Yeah. Sheryl Sandberg. She's not an investor though. Anyway, maybe Katarina from Flickr fame, something like that. But anyway, Shark Tank. They sort of jerked me around a little bit. So this is Jason's Shark Tank. There's a new segment on the program, and I think that they made a package for it. Let's roll the package.
I need money. What I want, that's what I want. That's what I want. That's what I want. What I want. That's what I want.
There you go. Shark Tank with Jason. We just took their graphics, took their concept, and we're going to do it here. So, who's our first Shark Tank? Now somebody's going to pitch us. You understand, Matt?
Yeah.
And you've seen Dragon's Den.
I have.
And we're going to bust their chops. No, we'll be supportive. We're going to hear the pitch. And you know what? I'm telling you right now, I want to do a couple more of these like angel investments. So if it's good, you have money, you put money in.
I might put money in.
He might put money in. I have a shark. Here we go. Okay. Sean? Did I pronounce it correct?
Yeah,
Sean, how you doing? Okay, you're on the phone with Matt and Jason on Jason's Shark Tank.
Okay.
Are we going to get sued?
He's got 100.
Everybody understands it's a parody, right? Yeah. ABC Legal. It's a parody. Get over yourself.
It's called Jason's Tank.
It's called Jason's Tank, okay? Whatever. Jason's Shark Tank. You don't own the Shark Tank, okay? We're joking about your program. Okay. So you have an idea or a startup company.
Yep.
You're looking for funding.
That's right.
And Matt, he's a millionaire. It's true. He did SitePoint Forums for 10 years. That site makes millions of dollars a year. He's a millionaire, I can tell you that. I've got some cash that I could spend too. You have, what, 90 seconds, 60 seconds? How long does he have to pitch?
120.
120 seconds. Okay, you have 100.
It starts in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Go ahead.
Okay, so I'll start from the beginning and make it quick. It was around this time last year when a friend sent me a video clip titled 20 Greatest Gymnastics Accidents with the message, "Hilarious, you gotta watch this." After watching it, I was frightened more than anything else. I mean, some of those people probably ended up paralyzed. As I read the comments below, the emotions were mixed between frightened and funny. That led me to the idea of creating a service that allows people to tag content based on how it made them feel. Since then, the idea has evolved much more. We wanted to build a service that allowed people to express themselves more than just clicking a like this button, the ability to change people's moods, and the ability for users to turn simple tag content into something more powerful which they can share. What we came up with is a service that lets users collect content from their and from their collections turn them into media packages. So let me give you an example. After watching Steve Jobs' commencement speech at Stanford on YouTube, I would tag it as inspiring and submit it to Emotify, which is the company which I should mention earlier. So other members can vote on how it made them feel. Who knows? What I found inspiring, others might find upsetting. Now, as I keep collecting and tagging content, either stuff I found myself or added by others on Emotify, I can decide to create an inspiring media package, which we call Emotipacks. It'll be about the highest and lowest of entrepreneurship, hoping to inspire entrepreneurs. The pack would consist of 3 videos, 1 blog entry, 1 photo, and 1 article. And I'm able to easily share it across my social channels. In addition, the pack could also be found on emotify.com under the inspiring emotion. 15. Users are asked at the end of viewing the pack if it fulfills the emotion or not. Okay. So anyways, we believe that people are more interested in viewing package content than non-online. Looking on Dig's front page, on any given day you see these top 5 or top 10 lists of whatever put together by bloggers and media sites being dug the most. What we do is allow anybody to create, we give anybody the opportunity to have a viral hit on the internet, even if the content isn't their own.
Okay.
And that's it.
Okay. So what you want to do, I'm gonna say it back to you. You're going to make the delicious of emotions. Am I getting it sort of? The stumble upon of emotions? Would that be an elevator pitch? Feels like
stumble upon with Dig, with delicious mix inside, yeah.
Right. So you were onto something. Your presentation was pretty good. You were rambling towards the end. That's typically what happens in presentations. But you have the core of an idea here, which is there's a lot of information out there. People want to share it. And it needs to be curated and indexed. And why not curate it or index it by emotion? Well, you know what? People do that already. They tag stuff. Funny, stupid, scary. That sort of is inherent in a lot of systems. So that is a challenge. Like some people are already doing that. But I'm going to show you one piece of anecdotal evidence, which is a very cool site called BuzzFeed, which you may have seen.
Yeah.
You've seen BuzzFeed.
Absolutely.
So pull up BuzzFeed on my screen for a second here. BuzzFeed has a tool. And it says your reaction. LOL, laugh out loud. I think I can zoom this in. There you go. So you see at the bottom, somebody has done this already on their site. But you're saying this is going to go across all sites.
Yeah.
Okay. So I think this is a good idea. I think this idea is sort of in what I would call the feature phase. It's a feature. You don't know where it's exactly going to go. And can the feature turn into a product? And can the product turn into a business? This is typically how it goes. So I have 2 questions. Number 1, what have you done before? Is this your first startup company? Is it your 10th?
It's actually my second. The first one, it was a mobile startup. It was pretty much we developed a mobile greeting card service back in 2003.
Okay. And did you raise money for it?
No, self-funded.
Self-funded. How much did you invest? Time and money?
I invested about $25,000 of my own.
And how much time did you spend on it?
About probably a year and a half too long, and it just I guess kind of fizzled. Like, ran out of money. Technology was lagging, and I don't know. I guess I was just too young and stupid at the time to.
Right. So it crashed and burned.
Yeah, pretty much.
Does that piss you off? Does it frustrate you?
Of course. Yeah, of course. I mean, but I guess it is what it is. I mean, you just pick it up and learn from it.
All right. So you have the right attitude. Failure is the precursor to success. So I like that about you as an entrepreneur. I need to meet you and figure out if you're crazy, kooky, or not. If you're not crazy, I would never invest in you. If you're like a normal person, that disqualifies you from my investment fund. My investment thesis is I like crazy, unreasonable entrepreneurs. And it seems like you did some unreasonable stuff, like blew 25 grand of your own money on trying to do that mobile card thing. That's a good idea. It didn't work out, but maybe you're learning stuff. I think that you have to, and the second question is, how does this go from being an interesting feature, something that Robert Scoble's going to go, oh my God, it's going to change the world. It's incredible. You know, that's my Robert Scoble.
Mm-hmm.
It's like FenFeed is amazing. That's not really how he talks, but that's how you would imagine somebody named Scoble would talk. We're going to work on the Scoble. Hi, I'm Robert Scoble. So how does it get from that feature phase into a product? Because what you have right now is that you're sort of saying it's like a destination site. I don't buy it's going to be a destination site for people. That seems tough. You really think that this becomes a destination site and people are going to go there and be like, I want to see emotional stuff rated by scariest, funniest, stupidest, inspirational enough? Is that really going to work?
Well, we would rely more on people, I guess, sharing it within their own social network, and I guess other people, sharing it back. But I mean, like, it will be indexed on one site.
Okay, but if it's in,
all
so
the packs did it.
If you have a page called Inspirational, do you think anybody's really going to care about that?
I mean, maybe. I mean, I don't know. It's I guess it's too early to say right now.
See,
but, I mean,
that was it. That was the moment right there. Tyler saw what I was doing. I actually think that I would like to read a page that was inspirational. And I'm a little concerned right now that you don't believe it as much. Because I wanted you to tell me, yes, people would love to see an inspirational page with Steve Jobs, with the last lecture, and maybe if you've already seen those too, maybe there's 5 others that you haven't seen. This would be an incredible page if it was all in. That's what I'm not hearing. I don't hear that same sort of passion for you about the idea. So you've got me wondering, how passionate are you about this and how convinced are you? I think you might be triangulating on this, but I don't know if you're there all the way yet. I want to let Matt give his view on this because he's an awesome entrepreneur who's built his businesses from scratch. Off his credit cards. Self-made man. No, don't answer the question. I'm just giving you the feedback. You don't need to answer.
Okay. Sure.
Matt's a self-made guy. Your parents give you $1 million to start your company?
No.
Your parents are blue-collar, hard-working people, aren't they?
They are.
Your dad is a construction guy?
That's right.
I guessed. I just guessed.
Guess.
Dad's a construction guy. Your mom probably didn't work or was a nurse or worked at a restaurant.
She worked at a daycare center.
She worked at a daycare center, same thing as a nurse. So this is the common thread between entrepreneurs. My mom was a nurse. My dad worked in bartending. Tell me, what did your parents do?
You're asking me now?
Yeah, I'm asking you. What did your parents do?
My father's a teacher, and my mother is a manager at a local medical supply firm.
I kind of like that. See, that's good. Your parents are like, you grew up middle class?
Yep.
You never had a lot? Your parents weren't buying Mercedes-Benz or BMW, right?
No. I've been working since I was 15.
All right. See, so you have the work ethic, so you fit my profile. What kind of car did your parents drive?
My dad has a Honda Accord, and my mom has a Honda Civic.
That's what I like. This guy, you have to fight for everything you have, didn't you?
Absolutely.
Did you go to college?
Yeah. Okay. In marketing at Concordia University in Montreal. I'm a fellow Canadian, just like Matt.
Oh, cool. You paid for that yourself, or is it public school? What is it? How'd you pay for it?
Yeah, it's well, education's a lot cheaper here. It's like $1,500 a semester. So yeah, I paid for it myself.
Pay for it yourself. So I got to tell you, you have the makings because you're pissed off about the last company.
Yeah.
You're a self-made person. Nobody gave you anything in your life. You're not some trust fund donkey.
Uh-huh.
And you're triangulating around an idea, and it's your second time at bat, so I like it. I think that your idea is not fully baked yet, but that's okay. We can get there. But I want to hear Matt's. Let's hear Matt's assessment.
Sure.
Matt.
Okay.
You got your checkbook on you. I see it here. He's got his checkbook on the table. He's already filled in a number of zeros. It's just a matter of he's going to put a 1, a 2, or a 0 in there. Matt, you got your checkbook. You got your pen. What do you think? Is this something you would say, an emotional dig? I would want to be part of that?
I like the idea of curated content across multiple websites and multiple mediums, blogs, videos, audio, podcasts, etc. Yeah. So I think there's a wider business idea within this model of creating content that's tagged according to different topics by pulling in links from different sources. If I want to learn how to build my dog a house out of scrap wood, how do I do that? I have to go to multiple sources, learn how to work with lumber, work with different tools. Or if someone just made a step-by-step list, read this blog, listen to this podcast on construction, here's a YouTube video, and maybe you're too lazy and here's a link to Home Depot, go buy it here's for $200, click here now.
Right. So you like curated.
I like the idea of curated content. What I didn't hear in this entire pitch was how it's going to make money.
Right. So let's answer that question, Matt. What's the business model?
Well, the business model, I will be completely honest with you, it's not fully developed. Like right now I'm relying on, I guess, advertising, but I mean, everybody will tell you that. So it's not fully developed, and I guess, from the way people use it, it'll help us, I guess, figure one out. But like I said, I'm not going to tell you, some BS answer of how we're going to make money.
Okay. And how much money do you need to get this launched, and what would you spend it on?
Well, we're actually about 8 weeks away from launching.
Oh.
I mean, we could work. Yeah, I could actually send you a link, which it's password protected, but yeah, you could actually play with it a bit.
Okay.
So.
So you're ready to launch. You're going to be able to get this out there and start playing with it. You don't have to have the money to get it out there. You're using sweat equity.
Yeah, exactly. So we're it's 3 of us. And, we just need some cash runway because, cash is pretty tight right now.
Yeah, okay. So you guys are a little short. What do you need the money for? For servers or what?
Yeah, well, pretty much for servers, we're giving the site a complete redesign. And,
how are you doing the design?
How are we doing the design?
Yeah, who's doing it? You hiring somebody?
Oh, yeah. Well, one of the guys is going to do it that we hired.
Oh, okay. How much you paying this guy? Is it a lot of money, or? Oh, he's a co-founder.
Oh,
good. So
yeah,
so you got sweat equity.
We all work for cheap. Our burn rate's probably $10,000 a month.
Ah, I see. So have you raised money already, or are you just doing it yourselves?
Yeah, we raised money from local angels here.
Oh, good. So you've got a little angel investing going already. Okay, so I mean, they believed in something. I think they probably saw what we saw, which is an emotional dig. Is interesting. I have another concept I want you to think about, which is I want to add this emotional system that BuzzFeed has to my blog, to my, I don't know, to my website, to my message board, whatever. And I want a JavaScript code where I can put it on my site and people can start doing this. And if they do it, it goes up to your database for your dig-like service. But you get to make my site better, because not everybody wants to participate in your site. Maybe you can bring your idea to their site, to somebody else's site. That's what I would encourage you to do.
Check out a business called JS Kit, JavaScript Kit. They basically do the same, add-in tools for blogs that people can host. They got a couple $1 million in funding. You might want to partner with them. You might want to talk to their investors since they're already into this space.
Was that Saka who did that? Chris Saka?
JS Kit, I may have been in that, yeah.
Yeah, I think so. Cool stuff. All right. I think I'm going to look at it. You send me the link. You send the link to Matt. Send it to Alex. We'll get both of us on the CC list, and we'll take a look at it. It doesn't. Okay. I'll be honest. The difference between this and Shark Tank is I don't know if I'm going to be able to make a decision to invest right on the moment. I might, but that's unrealistic. They just do that for television. But I will tell you I'm intrigued. I think you aren't onto something. And I think that you're the right profile for somebody who could be successful, because even if you raise money, you're going to deploy it very, very cheaply.
Yeah,
you're cheap by your nature. Did you ever see your parents blow a lot of money on anything?
Never.
Exactly. So you have cheap is in your DNA. Don't ever lose that. Always be cheap. ABC. Always be cheap. As a startup, always be cheap. Somebody tells you to buy an $800 chair, you tell them sit on an Apple box. I'm telling you, you got to make that difference between a great entrepreneur and a donkey entrepreneur is a great entrepreneur gets $1 out of a nickel, and the big companies, the big AOLs, Yahoos, whatever, they get a nickel out of $1. You got to spend a nickel and get $1 in value. They spend $1, they get a nickel in value. That's the advantage of a startup company. Great idea. We're going to watch it. We're going to take a look at it, and maybe I'll invest. I don't know. I want to find out who these other angel investors are too, so we're going to take it offline. I like the way this segment is going. Very good. Thank you for calling in.
Thanks
Motify. Very good. Very interesting. Very interesting. What do you think, Tyler?
You know, one of my favorite ideas right now is that tweet meme button that Nick Halstead out of England is doing, where it allows you to retweet right on any page.
Yes.
Instead of a dig button.
Yeah. Right.
But the benefit is, you know, the publisher, the website, loves this little button because unlike Dig, you're getting a benefit right away as people are retweeting.
Yes.
Where Dig, you're not getting benefit unless it gets
That's a good idea. How come we don't have retweet on
Check out
Mahalo?
SidePoint. It's all over our blogs. The retweet
You have
button.
the retweet button on there?
Yeah. I wrote a blog post a couple
within 6 months. He's approaching Dig-like levels, and the publishers prefer it more than the Dig button. It's based on a platform of Twitter that's already exploding. It's like,
so is it like you have to give him some promotion or something, or
no,
just you click it?
Nothing. You put your button. Well, the button is 2 pieces, just like the Dig button: the number and then the retweet. If you click the retweet button, it retweets for you,
right?
Which is helpful to the user.
Click the number, you go to their
If you click the number, you go to their site, which is like Dig, but assorted by the number of retweets.
I like it. What can we get this? What is it called?
Tweet meme.
Tweet meme.
Yes.
Tweet button.
Yes. You've met Nick, the guy who does it. Yeah.
Somebody from the development team is probably listening. There's about 40 minutes of show left. When I get out of this office, I expect to see it on Mahalo. That's how you run a startup company. Be unreasonable. You heard these people in here. I'm unreasonable. Okay, we got our next person. I'm just kidding.
Well, my point is that
you could wait till you could have it up on the site tomorrow, Saturday.
In so much that you can give publishers tools that you can all funnel back and aggregate.
Instead of trying to be the destination all the time, if you've only got 25 large, it's like $2.5 grand high societies. You know, it's not like you're Mahalo. You raise 20 million. You got to know how much money you have to spend. Maybe it's better to try to help other people build their sites and try to build a big destination site. Then once you have helped everybody else, maybe you get some of that traffic. You know, whatever. Okay, so our next person on Jason's Shark Tank, copyright Jason Calacanis, not ABC, or Mark Burnett, is John Thoralt. John, are you there? I missed the call? Do I have this call, guys? Can we send it through one more time?
We'll send you one more time.
Okay. Oh, here it goes. Hello, John.
Hello.
How you doing? What did you think of the last? What did you think of the previous call? Did he do a good job? Were you watching or listening?
I was. I thought he did an excellent job of presentations. Never easy to do something like this. So I think he did a good job. I love the segment.
Love this. I like the segment too. This could be the best segment of the show, Tyler. I keep saying that about every segment. Okay, so you have like 120 seconds to pitch us. You don't have to use all of it. Tell us what you're working with. Show us what you're working with. Go.
I'll tell you, Vivolve, Vivolve. That's my website. We're focusing on something different for the teens. Everybody's focusing on entertainment, the Twitters and the Facebooks and the music and this and that. We're going in the area of something that's purpose-driven and value-added. We're going to be we're creating a website that's going to be a life profile site, if you will. There's over 15 million public high school kids in the nation alone. Doesn't include private, homeschool, charter schools. What we're going to do is we're going to give them a location to put on, a spot to put on academics, athletics, career, and also volunteer service. Something like what we'll be doing here shortly has never been done before. They'll be able to put all their grades, test scores, attendance, everything like that uploaded. So basically the report card laid out for free for 4 years. All their athletic stats in over 24 sports that we have. They'll be able to have a career resume laid out. They could push a button and have a resume ready to go, and all their volunteer service, which is important when they get scholarships and everything. The problem we're solving, every teen has to do something after high school, either school, work, or military. There's no other choice. So we're giving them a way to find that and make that happen much easier, because it's not easy for us adults. So for the kids, it's going to be even harder. As I said, well, I'll say it's free for the kids. It's going to be free for the recruiters in all the different areas. They'll be able to go in and find their matches and do recruiting much more effectively. And then once we have all that in there, the revenue stream comes from the data subscribers. And we have 4 levels of security, so kids are not getting spammed, and we hold that in high regard, their safety. So they're matched originally by their preferences and the companies. So Nike is not going to contact people that are just interested in flowers and books. They'll only have contact with the kids that are interested in shoes and apparel and what they sell.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Wrap up 10 seconds.
Okay. As I said, we've spoken to major companies around the country, and the feedback is tremendous. They said, build it, we'll be there. School counselors are interested, parents are interested, kids are interested. I think we're going to make something happen for all sides. It makes sense, and in this economy, everybody's looking for a way to do things more effective and more efficient, and evolves it.
Okay. I'm going to tell you 2 things.
Okay.
Number 1, your ability to pitch this is terrible.
Okay.
Number 2, your idea could be brilliant. And I am going to teach you how to present right now. Okay?
Perfect.
Just got to listen. Your idea, if I heard it correct, is for high school students to have a resume 8 years before they build their first one, which is when they graduate college. Is that correct?
Yes, half correct. We're originally in high school, and then we are going to roll out to a college version, but that is pretty much right on point.
Okay. So, there are 2 ways to explain your idea that I think are very effective. One is present the problem, the frustration that you solve. The second is to make an analogy. You did neither. And Matt and I were looking at each other for the first 30 seconds of your pitch, and we were like, what is this? This is terrible. And then I would say, Matt, I don't know if you had the same thing, but we started like nodding a little bit towards the 60-second mark. In the first 10 seconds, you got to get us. And the way to get us would be to say, right up front, we are building LinkedIn for high school students, a professional profile that will help them get into college, learn how to build a resume, and make the contacts they need for internships, etc. Our children are done a tremendous disservice because they don't even know what a resume is, let alone build one, until the week that they're going to go into the job market. What we want to do is start that process of learning how to professionally present yourself in a way that will land you opportunities when they are 14 years old. Waiting 8 years to learn how to professionally present yourself and having the only representation of yourself online, a MySpace or Facebook page filled with all kinds of kiddie nonsense, is no good. And these students are getting active young. They're doing great things in high school and sports. They're doing great things in terms of music, in terms of volunteering. But if you put it on a Facebook or a MySpace page, along with all the other party pictures, they're not going to get credit for it. And they don't want to send that URL. So we're going to give them a professional URL. Vvolve, which is a terrible name. We got to come up with something better than that. But let's say it was, my first resume is the concept, but let's throw that out there. It's like LinkedIn, but for teens, but teens never want to have the word teen in the name of the service. So this is branding for teens is very hard. You need to really think about that. But let's just call it, Tyler, what would we call the teen resume, teen LinkedIn profile, professional profile for teens, young profile, my first profile, my accomplishments, my life, my resume.
My life's taken.
Of course, but let's just think here for a second,
no.
Matt. I heard Alex yell something. Anyway, they go to LinkedIn Junior, which is for a working title. That's not the title, obviously, but that summarizes the concept. And they go to LinkedIn Junior, or My First LinkedIn. They get to present themselves in a professional way that's going to get them into college, that's going to get them into after-school programs, that's going to get them into internships. You have a great idea. Why did you come up with this idea?
Well, very simple. I was a sports writer for 20 years, and I would see mostly high school in the Chicago area. I would see kids that were all state, just phenomenal athletes year after year. They would go into the college, and once I would see them at spring break or Christmas break the next year, what are you doing? Oh, I'm going to this small school, or I'm not playing anymore. I couldn't get any attention.
Right.
And this is 1996. I was just getting into the internet. And I said, there's got to be, to myself, I said, there's got to be a way kids can get profiled on the internet, use this new tool. And I went on there and did research, and there were sites that were doing it. They were charging $500 and $1,000, and there were people paying it, not a lot. And I said, there's got to be a way to deliver it to all the kids that can't afford it and make it affordable. That's when I started on my quest. My big thing was I had no computer program background. I found several different people to start doing it for sweat equity. They believed in the idea, and it always came up. They had to go back to work, or they had something come up, so it always kind of fizzled, but I never let it fizzle. And then I advanced the idea and said, there's got to, what about the kids that aren't interested in sports anymore? Let's include college, okay? And then I advanced the idea more and said, what about the kids that are good students that are just burnt out after 12 years? Let's give them a spot. Okay. So by delaying over all these years,
so you had
I've been able to add on to it and make it all things for all kids right now.
So you had some insight because you were working with these kids. Wasn't your kids, you were covering kids in sports. So that's
right out of high school. I've been dealing with high school students.
Got it. Okay. Matt, what do you think of this idea? Give him some feedback.
I think it has a lot of potential. I like how you started off in one specific niche, the sports market, high school students playing sports, helping recruiters easily search across different schools, athletes by stats, criteria, having the stats and the data for all the games, something that's probably not available anywhere else on the internet. At least it doesn't sound like it from what you've said before. So I think that alone could be a valuable subscription service that you could sell to the college recruiters who are looking for star athletes, help them narrow down their choices. That's a relatively small market that you begin to focus on, start generating some revenue, some traction, and then evolve the business into new streams, into the academics, keeping track of the report cards, volunteer work, etc., etc.
Yeah, so you have a good idea, and you have no technical skill. And have you built this thing yet, or it's just sort of you have a landing page right now?
No, actually, I took on Equity Partners about 15 months ago, and we're probably within 3 weeks of launching right now. We have a prototype we're building. We've been working on. We're trying to get the final stages of getting out there.
And it's VIVOLVE?
Correct.
Okay,
Vivolve.com.
Yeah, I'm on the Twitter account.
To explain the name,
explain
Jason,
the name. Yeah.
Vivo in Latin is life, and it's evolving your life, and is really where we came that from.
Okay.
So my life, we went over all that. Our research told us too that teens don't like to be called teens.
I know that. That was we know that.
So that's why we've stayed away from that, and we kind of came up with something. And there's barely any sites left in existence, names that are available. We want to something short that pops.
I got it. Yeah.
So.
I'm looking at your Twitter account right now. I'm sort of understanding the Vivolve. I got the Evolve thing, so I might not hate it as much. And sometimes you have to live with it for a couple of days for it to sink in. I mean, people said Mahalo, that's crazy. Yahoo is crazy. Google's crazy. So Vivolve is no more or less crazy than those three names. Tyler has an insight.
Yeah, here's an insight. The internship space and the application space are both need serious to take advantage of the web. So like an internship marketplace that you could layer on top of this, that would every business that has an internship, because we have this problem finding good interns, and the interns have a problem finding the good internships. There's not a database for them both.
We have a feature on there that'll allow that. They just click a button. Are you interested in part-time, full-time internship, military career? They're having a tough time recruiting. This way it'll be less intrusive. The kids will be coming to them instead of that. What we're doing is we're bringing all the kids to a lot of the recruiters, and the recruiters to them. They're meeting in the middle. And again, you summarized it really good, Jason. There's nothing for the kids. We're making taking care of their entertainment itch, but as far as getting them ready for the real world, it's not happening. And that's why we as far as the model, Matt, with the subscription there, I will go on record as saying there's a bunch of athletic sites that are out there. There's no academic sites that go to the level that we do, and there's no job sites that do anything. There's a couple part-time that have senior citizens in there. Nothing for kids to own.
We got it.
That's just for them.
Got it.
But we're trying to make it free. We're making it free for the kids.
We got it. Well,
I was going to say free for the recruiters, so there's no way, a barrier to entry. It's going to take a lot harder to beat free for anybody that wants to come in behind us.
I would like to see the site. So send the beta login whenever it's ready. I'm going to take a look at it, and I would do a follow-up call about this. I think it's interesting. I think it sounds... How much did you raise already?
In Angel, family and friends, we're at about, over the last 15, 16 months, about $70,000, and we're... that's the big thing. We're looking... most immediately, we're going to need about a 20 grand right up front here. We're going to do a security assessment right here at the end to make sure that we're as close to hack-proof as possible, storing all the data and everything. Mm-hmm. My developers, partners are wonderful, and they got everything covered, but they're smart enough to know never say the word hack-proof. So we're going to have some outside people go over that, and that's going to be in the neighborhood of like 20 grand as well.
20 grand to do a hack? Wow.
Yeah, for one of the best services out there is, and it covers everything. So we listen. At the end of the day, we're protecting teens' data, and we can't.
You have to be careful when you're dealing with kids and private information.
Well, this also, whoever this company is that's charging you 20, it sounds like they need to get some options and charge you 5. But that's a whole other thing about negotiating prices down. We could talk about offline. It's good. I think you peaked both ranges. What do you think, Matt? It's kind of interesting.
If you could get enough students sign up and get enough data on there, there's so many different areas you could take this in. Right. So many different business models you could apply.
I love the idea of a LinkedIn for teens, and I like the fact that you understand you can't call teens teens, so you get the space. All right, good job. You did a terrible job pitching. You got a great idea. Hopefully we helped you a little bit with the pitching, and hopefully we get to keep up with this, because this could be good. Alex, make sure you keep track of all these incredible folks who are sharing their stories with us. It's good stuff. All right, we'll talk to you, John. Thanks for pitching.
Thank you, guys. Cheers. Appreciate it.
Bye. That was interesting.
I liked it.
I like both of them. I think both guys had good ideas. I think the second idea of Evolve is more fully baked.
I think so.
The first idea is more of like he's on to a feature or something. The second idea, he's got a business. There's a business in there. Like, we know LinkedIn's a business. Like, the people, he's like, oh, nobody pays for anything. But you know what? If I'm a teen, maybe I want to pay to have a better profile. Maybe I want to pay to do a video thing, or have a professional video produced about me. Or maybe I want to pay to have them manage getting me an internship, where they read my thing and they introduce me and maybe they could set up the phone calls between the internships and do the work for us.
The teens don't have so much liquid income, but the parents are sure trained that they are, spending $20 a month on a kid for something.
How about this? How about your kid? It's like, I need to get an internship this summer, and they have an intern. They have an intern preparation course you take online, and then they try to fit you into an internship, and it costs $100, $50. Well, parents not going to do that. Parents can give their kid $50. Here, go, $50.
Save them so much time
to get a job. Yeah, I'll help you get a job. Yeah,
get them out of the house.
Or there could be a whole coaching thing, which would be like over video casting for $500. You come 4 times. It could be like virtual learning. You have 4 2-hour classes, 8 hours. There's 10 people in each class, or it could be one-on-one, where we're going to teach you how to get an internship and how to behave on your internship, how to show up the first day. We're going to go through what it means to have a job. This is the educational component of this. Could be incredible. If the people are paying consultants in Manhattan $300, $400, $500 an hour to do consulting on getting into nursery schools and high schools. That's what an education consultant costs in New York City. So in middle America, maybe it costs $100 an hour, $150 an hour, but you can match all these education consultants with each other.
I think it's a great idea. We've had interns show up in tracksuits with their friends in tow, like completely unprofessional. Yeah. They just have no idea.
Somebody showed up with their posse.
With their posse in tow.
They rolled deep into the internship. Wow. That is just fantastic. All right, so we're at the hour and 35-minute mark, or hour and a half mark. The show is only going to be 3 hours long today. Matt, this is the interview segment. SitePoint, I know, because I would always check that out. People are on there talking about SEO, programming, how to build websites. Why did you? That was the first thing you started, right?
That's right.
How old were you when you started that? 15? Why did you start it?
I was 15 years old when I started the precursor to SitePoint, and basically what happened is I was learning how to build a website as a personal hobby for myself,
right.
And I started doing lots and lots of research, finding all these cool tools and resources and websites, but they were very, very dispersed. I had to do a lot of legwork to find all the cool things and all the information that I needed in order to learn how to build and market a website. So I basically started compiling everything that I was learning into a one-page website called Webmaster Resources. Just links to SEO tools, HTML references, link exchange, those banner exchanges, sites, web rings, all those things. And then eventually I started adding content on top of that as well, tutorials and guest articles and so on, and gained a lot of traction very, very quickly. This was 1997, 1998, so everyone was getting onto the web. They wanted to learn how to build their own website. I quickly became the go-to destination for that. Within a couple weeks of launching, I was in LA Times, USA Today, Washington Post, Windows Magazine, which at the time had...
And what is this, 1999?
1998.
1998. So you're 15 years old, 1998. And what do your parents think of all this? Like, you basically got a site that everybody's reading, and was there any money being made at this point, or were you just going to your parents saying, like, can I have $100 to get a server somewhere?
No, I started making money through the ad networks, a couple $100 a month, which very quickly became tens of thousands of dollars per month, especially as the venture capital ramped up and the internet companies were just trying to spend money as quickly as possible. So they were calling me up. I was at Starbucks on my lunch hour taking internet advertising orders from big companies.
While you were in high school?
While I was in high school.
And so your dad's a construction guy. So your dad's probably making, I don't know, 50 grand a year, 60 grand a year. I don't know what a construction guy makes. Probably not more than my dad made as a bartender. And he sees you making $10,000 a month. What is he like? Are you a criminal? Are you in the mob? Are you selling drugs? He must be really concerned.
They were very supportive, but they just didn't think it would last. They didn't think it had any legs to it, that it would fizzle out and die after a couple of months. There was a fluke accident, rather than a sustainable business. But as they went on and on and on, eventually, they said, fine, you don't have to go to college, you don't have to go to university. You obviously know more than we do about this, so go for it and good luck.
So you skipped college?
I skipped college.
And you regret that, or you're cool with it?
I think I missed out on some social aspects.
Yeah,
even in high school.
Okay, so basically you're saying you missed the chicks.
For sure.
Okay. But now I'm thinking you've got some pretty serious bank. And when you roll up into the club, you can get a couple bottles and it's not an issue. So what is the state of the business now? Because I know you have SitePoint Forum, 99 Designs, which it's so funny that we're in town, because we did a tweet like, hey, is anybody in town? And somebody told me, oh, the guy from 99 Designs in town. So that site's brilliant. Because I've used that. Weblogs Inc. used 99 Designs to do the Luxus logo and a couple of our other logos. And I think I may have traded emails with you back in those days talking about it or something. Did we trade emails?
It might have been me or my business partner.
Maybe one of your partners, yeah. What's the state of the business now? I mean, this thing's making millions of dollars and you have no venture capital, you just grew it from the bottom up.
Exactly. We bootstrapped it all the way. We tried to barter for as many services to get things for free.
Yeah.
We had all our web development software was given to us for free by Adobe and Microsoft because they just wanted reviews on our website. We bartered for web hosting with Rackspace in the early days. We had our hosting costs covered. We bartered for our email list distribution. We were paying next to nothing at the time. And just slowly grew it over time. It worked really well until 2000, 2001 came along.
Right.
And the rug was pulled out from under us.
Right.
All of a sudden, people were no longer calling me up, offering me $20,000 for a banner on the site.
Luckily, you're still living with your parents. No, you moved
I
out.
moved out when I was 18.
You had moved out by then.
Yeah.
So now what? You've got like a Ferrari with payments, or are you smart and you're still driving a Honda or something?
I had a BMW.
A BMW, okay. It was paid for?
It was paid for with cash.
All right, so that's good.
No lease payments, no loan payments.
So
but we also had a few employees at the time as well. And an office that we opened in the summer of 2000. No, we never laid anybody off.
Oh, wow. So you survived?
We survived. What we essentially ended up doing is we looked at what people were doing on our site. Because we had all these programming tutorials on our site, one of the most popular features on the site was the print this article link.
Right, sure.
People were printing out the tutorials on CSS and PHP, having it next to their keyboard, and then typing along and learning how to program. Because no one had two screens on their desk at that point in time. So we said, maybe there's a business in printing it out on their behalf, and how can we test this as cheaply as possible? So we went to a print-on-demand company. We took our most popular article in PHP and MySQL, turned it into a crappy little 200-page book. Didn't have an index, table of contents. It was hacked together.
Yeah.
It was hacked together very quickly, and we put it up for sale for $35.
How many did you sell?
20,000 copies.
Wow. So basically, you created your own O'Reilly in a way, but for like very specific building websites things. And I pulled up Amazon here, and I see SitePoint books. These are all your books, right? I'm looking at here.
That's right.
So this is a lot of books that you guys. So you created a publishing company, in addition to SitePoint, which has all the forums where people talk about stuff and get articles. Then you launch 99 Designs, and so I keep talking about this, but let me show people what it is. Here, somebody says, I want to make a fight global warming logo. They say they're going to give $800. they give you the $815 in escrow.
Plus some fees.
Plus 20%, is it, or 10%?
$39 listing fee plus 10%.
So $39 plus 10%. So in this case, $100. You get $100 for this, and it's guaranteed, the money. You hold it.
That's right.
There's 1,100 entries here for this one, and if you look at the logos, they're good. People start putting logos up immediately. This is by time submitted, but you can also put it by rating, and you can actually see like which ones the person who ran the contest thinks are best. And people would normally pay what for one of these logos? If you were going to get a logo, what is it, $10,000, $5,000, $3,000? I mean, logos used to cost, I remember in the 90s, logos were $5,000 or $10,000 to make a logo. Even if you had like a mom and pop shop, you would find a graphic designer, you pay them $5,000 or $3,000. What was the going rate when you started this?
Anywhere from $5,000 to $20,000. A lot of people just didn't get a logo at all, right. Or they put like, some clip art together with the company name next to it,
right.
And that was it. Even to this day, about 20% of small businesses in the U.S. don't have a logo.
Wow. And so this has become a little controversial now. I'm just going to show an example of like one of the logos. I mean, this is nice for. If I was paying, I don't know, $800, I would think this logo here is very nice. I would be very satisfied with that logo for my site. This has created a major brouhaha. There's a whole thing called no spec, as in spec work.
That's right.
And these graphic designers, they hate you.
That sums it up.
And they are now creating no spec websites to protest what you've done by taking what was $3,000, and people get good logos for what on average, $100, $200?
The average logo is $300 to $350 on 99 Designs.
Right.
If you put up $800, you'll get 1,000 plus options to choose from, like this guy here.
Right. So I mean, it's, in some ways, it's like marketing. If I put $800 up there to make 1,000 logos, I just got all these people to even understand what I'm doing. And look at this website, no-spec.com, is a website that is a vehicle for those who support the notion that spec work devalues the potential of design and ultimately does a disservice to the client. Our mission to educate the public about speculative or spec work. Our target, those who use creative services as well as creative professionals, designers, blah, 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 blah. These guys are trying to get, and this is organized.
It is. That's not the only one either. There's a few of them.
They are trying to get designers to not participate. They are trying to get, I mean, it's sort of anti-competitive. They're trying to get people to stop using these services. And to me, it reeks of, I mean, they're well within their right to do it, but if you're a designer and you think your services are, and you have the time to go argue about somebody else and what they charge for the services, maybe your services are not so good.
I would agree with you for sure. What they're basically saying is that every small business owner should pick one designer and pay them for that work, right. Whether or not they're happy with the results, whether or not the designer actually delivers something usable.
Right.
And the entire process of hiring a designer the traditional route can take weeks of time. Right? In 99 Designs, you can get a logo done in as little as 24 hours.
Yeah. And who wants? And nobody enjoys the process.
No one enjoys.
Nobody enjoys the process of logos. You sit in the room with the designers, and they have somebody with them taking notes. And what does your brand mean to you? What does it mean to them? It's like, you know what? Just make some stuff, and I'll look at it and I'll tell you what I like.
Exactly.
Here, yes, this is what we do. That takes about 10 seconds. Go to work. Build me something. So these no spec people, it just seems so nonsensical that they would even take the time to do this. I mean, we've had this happen over and over again with writers. There's people who write for spec on Associated Content or eHow. Mahalo has writing opportunities for people. I just got in a fight with somebody online about, why aren't you paying people $1 a word? I'm like, well, it's never going to make any money if we do that. But we will split revenue with people. And shouldn't the people who can't get the jobs working at the New York Times have a chance to write too? I mean, or is that the only existence up there, right?
Exactly.
It's kind of crazy. All right, well, it's been a great interview. He's a man of few words.
It's funny, though, the non-spec folks, as we were talking about, have no problem like using Creative Commons photos, which in some essence is like somebody offering their work you know.
I'm sure they're very happy when iStock Photo came on the scene. They could buy images for $5 made by amateurs on their digital cameras in their spare time. And now they're obviously protesting the fact that, you know, hobby designers living in Romania or Philippines can crank out logos for US-based businesses for $300, $400, $800 and deliver great work.
Do you know any of these companies in the Philippines, or do you know the people there? Did you set them up, or did you like have to recruit them, or did they just show up at some point?
We have 44,000 designers in our community. We're signing up thousands and thousands of them a week.
Right.
So they're naturally attracted to this site because of the projects that we provide, the opportunity to earn money, and a lot of them use it as lead gen.
Right.
You find a designer through 99 Designs for a logo. You might just talk to that designer directly over email and get them to do your business card and stationery as well.
Right, and you don't mind that?
No, we don't. It's basically a form of lead generation. Those guys, rather than spending money on sales and marketing and proposals, they're doing what they're essentially best at, which is designing great work.
So that's a reason for somebody who's a professional designer to do the logo, is that they'll get all the subsequent work.
Exactly.
They can charge more for that.
Exactly.
Right.
Develop a one-on-one relationship with a client.
Interesting. I wonder what the biggest, like, are there companies in the Philippines and India and these other places that like live on 99 Designs and like that's where all their work comes from?
It's mostly individuals.
Mostly individuals.
I think our top guy is in Romania. He's made $80,000 US directly from 99 Designs.
Wow.
And probably much more on the side.
On the side, right. And Romania might be...
I think the average salary in Romania is less than $1,000 a month, so he's living it up.
He's living large. And there's a new site you guys came out with, Flippa.
Flippa, F-L-I-P-P-A.
Flippa.
Yeah.
So you're going hip-hop on the Flippa.
There's actually a rapper named Flippa.
Yeah, it sounds like a rapper's name. And so tell me, what is Flippa?
Flippa is basically the largest marketplace for buying and selling websites online. If you have a small blog, a forum, a dropship e-commerce website, a ClickBank product, and you get tired of it, you don't want to manage it, update it, you need money for a car to send your kids to college, a wedding, whatever, you essentially come to flippa.com and hold an auction for your digital business, your digital asset. Tell us what your traffic is, what revenue the site generates, what means you generate the revenue by, is it affiliate programs, Google AdSense, etc., and you hold an auction for your site. And people are selling over $1 million of websites every single month through Flippa.
And you get 10% of that or something. Or how does it work on the Flippa?
It's $19 listing fee plus 5% if you're successful. So.
Perfect. And so here are some of them that are here to be bought and sold, and here are the ones that were just sold. And let's see what was just sold. One that's for a lot of money. I see 1,200. Why is there just 100? Well, here's for 15,000. Sold yesterday for 15. $200,000 in sales in the last 7 days. This is summer. $26 million in sales. Is that what it says at the bottom? Total. Oh,
look on the right-hand side. That's where the stats are.
Here we go. So this person has 250,000 uniques.
It's 250,000 uniques. He's making $1,200 a month in revenue. So sold it for about 10 months worth of revenue.
Right.
Not too bad if you need cash.
And it's called greatwebsiteforsale.com. He's selling greatwebsiteforsale.com. That's interesting. And so all these businesses together, how much is was there a name for the overarching company with all these different
They're all
brands?
3 separate companies, actually. So what we did is we invested our own money when we spun out 99 Designs and Flippa more recently. And 99 Designs is going absolutely gangbusters. The designers are uploading a new design every 10 seconds to the site, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. We've expanded into many other categories. People can get WordPress themes designed, coded, and installed, web page design, stationery, T-shirts, banner ads. People can go really, really creative. You know, iPhone app icons, skins, any sort of graphic design project.
Cool. This is fairly awesome. What are you going to do now? Are you going to raise money or sell these companies, or what's your goal and your partner's goals?
We're focusing on growing 99 Designs as quickly as possible. Same with Flippa.com.
It's really interesting. Guru.com burned through a ton of cash trying to do a similar thing, but they were trying to do more like an Elance. Is Elance the big 800-pound gorilla in the space? Is that the biggest?
Elance is pretty big. Odesk is good. I think the biggest compared to 99 Designs is a company called LogoWorks, which is owned by HP. They work on a slightly different model than us. You might only see 3 concept designs for $500 rather than 100 concept designs.
And it's owned by Hewlett-Packard?
That's right.
Why would Hewlett-Packard own that?
Because they have a lot of small business customers, and they want obviously the printing upsell on those small business customers as well.
Very cool, very cool. Well, let's bring Andrew Warner in here for the news. Andrew Warner is here for the news. We know Lon is not here. You can let him in. Listen. Not you, Tor. And 7. All right, we're back, and Lon Harris, all the ladies going crazy for Lon Harris in the chat room. I don't know if there's any ladies in the chat room, to be honest, on the show. So, Lon Harris, where's Lon Harris?
San Francisco.
What he's doing is, he went on vacation. He's taking a little break. Good for him. So Lon Harris is away, and we got Andrew Warner back. Welcome back,
Hello.
Andrew.
Thanks for having me back again.
And this is the second time you've worn the suit since the last show, a couple months ago?
Second time in years. You're the only reason that I wear a suit.
So welcome back.
Thank you.
How have you been doing since the last time we saw you?
Doing great. I've been doing a lot of interviews on my website, Mixergy, with entrepreneurs.
Mixergy, absolutely.
Yep.
I did a Mixergy interview.
I'd love to have you back.
There's not much more for me to say. It's all on This Week in Startups. Right? I mean, what are you going to do? You point people to This Week in Startups and they're going to do it. So tell us what's in the news.
All right. First story in the news today is that Apple's latest operating system, Snow Leopard, was released. And there are no new features in this upgrade, and many reviewers are saying that most users won't even notice a difference between this and the previous version. So Jason, is this the end of innovation in desktop computers because now all the actions move to mobile?
No, Andrew, I don't think it is, actually. I don't understand what the point of this release was, if it was just stability or something like that, but I haven't heard one person say this feature is killer, and it's kind of weird. Like, wasn't the whole thing when they released these new operating systems was to have, like, here are the 17 things you couldn't do the last time? It's kind of like a weird...
There is one, though. The main, I think, and they've been saying that they've
64-bit?
Yes, but the Exchange, they finally have Exchange syncing right.
Okay.
And they've been saying they were going to do it forever, and they finally got it right.
So
Exchange syncing, we might as well charge $29.95 for this.
So Exchange syncing is working right as everybody's moving off Exchange to Google Apps.
Correct.
Okay, good. Well done, Apple. You got it done just in time for everybody to not be using Exchange servers anymore. No, people are still using Exchange servers. It's just, I don't know what you're saying, Matt. You say that?
I thought the major improvement was supposed to be that it's faster.
Right.
Speed improvement. But people aren't going to notice it. And $29 for what essentially is a small update to the operating system. If Microsoft charged $29 to do a Windows update for essentially no new features, people would cry, run to fall. They'd be so pissed.
Are you saying that Apple fanboys are not objective? Is that what you're saying?
I think they're willing to open their pocketbooks more so than...
I think if Steve Jobs said, I have a new version of our operating system, and he put the number 1 and incremented it to 2, people would pay for the new box. They would literally, Apple fanboys are such donkeys, they would pay to just see the increment on the box.
Will you be upgrading the Macs in this office to this newest version?
Well, that's not my job. I don't do that. No, I don't think so. I mean, I think actually a lot of people didn't upgrade to the last one. The good thing about the Mac operating system is because it's built off of Unix, I guess, it's stable. I don't have any problem with my Mac, ever, in terms of operating system problems. I mean, with Windows, I had to reinstall it every 6 months. I had to reboot every 3 times a day. Sometimes I forget to reboot my Mac, like for a couple of weeks or months, and it's still rock solid. I very rarely have problems. So they have there's that one little subscription thing I see in my task manager on that grinds, like it slows the machine down sometimes when it's trying to do some background process, but very rarely do I have any problem with it. It's a very stable operating system now. It used to suck how long it took to boot. I mean, it was like 8 minutes to boot a Mac. I remember doing magazines. They were like, oh, I got to reboot the Mac. And we'd like, everybody go get a cup of coffee, get a Starbucks, because it's going to literally be 8 minutes while it's loading all the drivers. It's a disaster. But
beyond speed, is there anything that we're looking for in operating systems? Hasn't everything been baked in and now we just want less and less to make it simpler?
I think people like the control of multiple monitors and like that sort of desktop switching, when you could have like multiple things. I would like to see screen resolution and some more work done on monitors. Like, I like to upgrade my monitor. I have not bought monitors in 3, 4, 5 years. The Dell 3007 came out, whatever that is, 3007, the 30-inch. The 24-inch came out from Dell. You can turn it sideways. Like, why don't they design a curved monitor? Why don't they design one that's, I don't know, a little horizontal one that could go on top of the 24 that's, for, news or your Twitter? Why don't they design a monitor that's just for Twitter? That would be a great, we talked to the guy before about hardware. If somebody just designed a little monitor that went to this, that just stood over here, that was strictly for Twitter stream, and you plug it in and it knows it's there, and it knows it has a Twitter application built into it, or the Twitter apps would be built for it, and just had good resolution. You could maybe had a touch screen so you could tap it, and just do something creative with monitors. Somebody, please, for the love of God. And there was some laptop that came out, I saw that the monitor goes junk, and there's 2 monitors. That's pretty cool. So I think there's got to be more time spent on that, frankly. Who cares? I mean, the operating systems are stable. I mean, Microsoft's just racing to get Windows 7 out so they can have a stable operating system. I mean, that's why they're the number one reason people are moving, I think, to Macs is not because of they want to spend more money on a sexier computer. It's because they're just tired of viruses, and they hear from their friends that they don't have viruses. I think that's the biggest selling point of a Mac. No viruses. That's why I got my mom one.
No blue screen of death.
I don't have to reinstall the operating system on my mom's computer every Christmas when I go there, and I don't have to take all the malware off.
Oh, it's a nightmare. I have to go over to my parents' house and run all the anti-spyware software.
Get her an iMac. That's it. You're done. $1,000.
It's the only option.
That's it.
Yeah.
Am I advocating Apple product? Of course I am. It's good. And it's because it's a closed system. That's why it's so brilliant. Next story.
The NFL banned Twittering during games, but Bengals wide receiver and prolific Twitterer Chad Ochocinco said he found a loophole. He announced that he's going to fly a different fan to each one of his games, and he'll work out a signaling system with them where he can tell them how to tweet out his thoughts. Is this an example of Twitter and social media in general just being a distraction to work, or is this a great publicity stunt?
This is stupid. He's an idiot because you have a coach, you have a boss. And if your boss tells you during work, he's at work, I want you focused on the game, not talking to your fans. The fans are already watching. You don't need to tell them anything more. Your play is supposed to speak for you when you're playing football. Nobody cares what Kobe Bryant thinks after he does a dunk. I'm sorry, it's not important. I want to see the dunk. He's going to talk about it after. There can be a post game. There's going to be a press conference. There's time for that. Supposed to be your mind is supposed to be in the game. So the NFL's right to ban it. Players are stupid if they do it. They're going to get fined if they do it. And doing a whole signaling thing is even stupider. So why would they? He's basically taunting the NFL. Now the commissioners are trying to come out and go, okay, by the way, we're going to ban Twittering, and we're going to ban stupid people from doing signals to ban Twittering, and we're also going to ban doing. The next thing is one of these guys is going to say, I'm going to load my tweets up in advance in a scheduling software and have them released every 15 minutes. Like, gee, I'm really enjoying the game. It's stupid.
What about the benefit that we're talking about him here? I saw tons of reports about him because of this story. Does he get an advantage from that? Does he even need it?
When NFL players are link baiting, it's the end of link baiting. It's jump the shark, okay? Ashton Kutcher is link baiting every day. Like, stop with the link baiting, okay? Then this comes from a guy who's credited with creating it. I didn't create link baiting. I didn't ever even use that term. Link baiting is nonsense. Stop link baiting. That's what that is. It is pretty ridiculous that an NFL player.
How many followers did he get out of these?
Yeah, exactly. That's what it comes down to. I have so many celebrity people now asking me to call Ev Williams, as a side note, and put them on the celebrity the recommended user list, as if I have any control over that. I'm not on it. Mahalo's not on it. How could I get anybody on it?
I would think that you would say that you could get them on there just to keep having all those inbound calls. It's got to be pretty cool.
No, it's when I'm playing poker and there's some celebrities like, oh, you know the guy from Twitter? I'm like, yeah. Can you get me on the list? I'm like, no, can't do that.
You can get them on SitePoint, but that's about it.
Yeah, if they can get their logo done for the next movie.
Twitter background.
Tell them your offer for it, and they don't.
Well, they're going to have TweetSense very soon. Yeah. Actually, I traded emails with Biz over at Twitter, and I am going to be, just say, the first user for the professional account.
Wow.
Well, that's all I can say.
You can't say what's going to be in the professional account.
I can say we had 2 or 3 discussions about what should be in it.
What do you think should be
in it? A year ago. I think that the ability to add JavaScript to your page should be in it. Like if I wanted to put my Google Analytics on it. I think the ability to put an advertisement and change the template to something a little more robust would be good. I think click tracking natively in Twitter would be good. Yeah, maybe tracking my followers, when they leave, when they come, how I'm trending. Some of those third-party services more integrated into it would be good.
And you would pay for that, and you think others would too?
I think 1% of the user base would pay for it, 0.1%. That's plenty. What they'll pay, who knows? But I would like to have a professional, because I would like to know how many people load my actual Twitter page on the web.
You've been saying that they should charge you since, I think, the day you got on it.
Yes.
Initially, you wanted to be charged just for stability and then a few other features.
Yeah, but I thought the thing was becoming so essential to my business that I was like, I'll pay you to put just me on a server. And I told them, I will pay for the $1,200 a month rack space server, put me and Scoble and Dave Weiner or whoever on it, we'll split it. And they're like, it's not really that issue. The issue is that our code is kind of sucky and we got to fix it. But it's right around the corner. Well, I don't know about right around the corner. It's around the corner. The fact that he set out can be the first user is, well, it's right around the corner.
All right. Next story, Yelp has a new augmented reality app, or at least they've added that feature into their current app.
This is cool.
If you hold it up now, you can see what restaurants, what bars are around you. You can see what people think of those restaurants and bars. So is augmented reality now going to be a part of every program, or is it just a toy that's fun for now but not very useful?
Augmented reality, to explain it to people, is basically using a camera to take a video of the real world, or a picture, but usually a video, and then put digital assets on it when you watch that video of the real world on the camera. So you got the iPhone out right here. I'm looking at my laptop, and I'm looking at the video here on the screen, and then it's telling me what is on the laptop and what the different pieces are or whatever. That's what augmented reality is. There's a lot of cool demos of it you can find online. It's been something that's been around for a long time. When we were in Japan, they were selling this little cube a year ago for $100 in Akihabara, and you would take the cube and put it in front of your webcam, and then on your computer screen you would see your desk, and then you would see this little geisha, what was it, like a maid, a French maid would come out, and like, you know, oh, can I get your tea, master? And then you had a little wand, and you would take the wand and you would sort of spank her or touch her, and you would tap on the box, and like you give her a gift, and you could give her a gift of a mouse or something, and she'd get really scared, and it was deviant, not sexual, but bizarre, and very cool. And it's cool to be able to Tonchi.dot at TechCrunch 50. You know, you hold up your phone to the real world, and you're looking at, I don't know what you're looking at. Like you're looking at
tweets and
no. Let's say I'm looking at the Acropolis, and I'm, you know, or the skyline of New York, and as I go like this to the skyline of New York, it's showing me the Wikipedia page, you know, or it's showing me the name of each building and what companies are in it, and I can zoom in, and I zoom in on that building, and I see the World Trade, the Freedom Tower or something else. The World Trade Center was there previously, you know, and I could click on it and get the information about that building, when it was built, and all that kind of stuff. It's really cool. I don't know that anybody's got an application that you're going to use every day for it. But it is kind of cool to take your thing out and see the real world and see like arrow that way, this way, arrow that way, that way. But it's not much. You have the address anyway, so
yeah,
it's cool. But it's just like it's going to be great for a TV commercial. Let's leave it at that. You know, when Steve comes back, it'll be a great demo for, you know. But it's not that big of a deal.
If they authorized it, because it was actually it was a hidden feature. And so there are questions about whether Apple even knew that that was in there, whether Apple would have approved it with or without it. What do you think? Do you think that they were trying to pull one over?
No. I think Apple is going to approve everything at this point because there's so much pressure on them right now, and the whole Google Voice thing. I think that because they just did Spotify, right? They said Spotify's cool. Rhapsody did a whole goof on them where they're like, went to the press and were like, today is the day we're submitting our application to get rejected. It was almost like somebody going with their film, like Larry Flint going with their film to the, you know, MPAA, like, I'm bringing my film to get rejected. You know, it's like almost like a joke now. So I think that Apple is just going to totally get this under control and start letting people, like, whatever application you want to do as long as it's not porn. They don't need any more bad press. And the fact that the government got them to make, you know, statements, and I know some people at Google, and the people at Google, I think, feel like maybe Apple's a little full of shit, you know. There's some bad blood going on right now. And so I think Apple is going to slow its roll, so to speak.
So if you've got an app that you're not sure you can get past them, now's the time to do it with all the spotlight on Apple.
This is the great, I mean, talking about link baiting, and like, if I'm thinking when we launch the Mahalo Answers app, I'm going to put in it something that Apple will ban. What can we put in it that Apple would ban? What does Apple not like? We'll put in like a baby shaker or something, or whatever. Something that would be like massively controversial. What is the...
Well, the baby shaker they approved, so...
They did approve that, yes, I'm joking. Now I'm going to get all the baby shaking guys emailing me. The guy from Baby Shaking was emailing me every day. Did I tell that story already?
No.
Okay, remember the baby shaking app? So somebody had a baby shaking app. The baby cries, you shake the thing, and the baby stops crying. For those people who are idiots in the world, this message, somebody can clip this. This message is for people who are idiots in the world. Don't shake babies. They're precious. They're delicate. You were a baby once. They're God's gift. They're harmless. Don't shake a baby. Are you out of your fucking mind? Okay, that's the end. You can clip it and put that on to people who shake babies. Anyway, so these knuckleheads put this thing on their shake babies. Apple gets upset. Then this guy from the Shaken Baby Syndrome, association in DC or somewhere is emailing me every day saying, I have to get Steve Jobs to speak at this conference on this panel about Shaken Babies thing. And I said to him, listen, they made a mistake. They didn't know. They took it out. They publicly apologized. What more do you want? And he's like, well, they have to come to this conference. I'm like, okay, now you're being unreasonable. Just for feedback, don't ever email me again, number one. Two, you're being unreasonable, and it makes your cause look stupid when you say something ridiculous like, the CEO of some major public company's got to come to a conference on this thing. He doesn't need to come to a conference. Somebody in the company needs to apologize. That's it. And then it was always like, oh, and we'd like a little bit of money. It's like a shakedown, so to speak.
Yeah.
Anyway, whatever. So that's the whole story.
But for the record, Steve Jobs is on your speed dial on your iPhone, right? So if you wanted to, you could have made a connection.
Of course, I would have called Steve in a second. I'd text him, whatever. I can put him up on Skype. Yeah, sure.
Augmented reality, Steve Jobs right there.
Yeah, exactly. It's like I know Steve.
It was revealed this week that Microsoft photoshopped a black man out of its Polish website and replaced him with a white man. What do you think? Sign of racism, goofiness, mistake?
Again, somebody's an idiot. There's a lot of stupid people on the planet. Somebody did something very stupid. I don't know what they're thinking. Is this Poland, you said?
Yep.
You're Polish.
Yeah.
Somebody did something stupid, and maybe they thought, when people do stupid stuff like this, that's racist, or people perceive as racist, it's usually not maliciousness. Like, the person who did it isn't really a racist. They just have a low emotional IQ. So what they probably thought was, our audience is white. We have white IT managers. We should have a white 40-year-old because everybody who buys this software is a 45-year-old fat white guy. So let's get a Polish-looking fat white guy. And they bring it to Japan. They get rid of the Polish guy and they put in a Japanese guy. It's only because it happened to be black to white that it was an issue. If it was white to black and it was in Nigeria, I don't know that it's an issue. If it was white to Japanese for Japan, it doesn't feel like an issue, does it? I don't know. Does it, Tyler?
I don't think it does.
I don't think it's an issue. So you basically take the worst race issue we have, which is black versus white, and the terrible heritage we have in our country about slavery and racism and all this terrible stuff that came long before we were here, by the way, and it just salt on the wound kind of a thing. And, of course, it's the ultimate gotcha because it was on the site and you could go from one tab to the other. I mean, you click Poland, you click US, it was like doot, doot. So the fact that it was so obvious, and you always, if you're going to do Photoshop, do it well. There is no excuse in this day and age to do bad Photoshop. There are people on 4chan or FARC doing professional Photoshop while they're working or driving down. People are doing Photoshop down the frickin' 405, on their laptops. There's no excuse for doing a terrible Photoshop job like that.
You're talking about how they left the hand in there, but they edited out the face.
Yeah, and the face is like this. So it's like the person's like this, and it's like, well, what is that about? It's like the guy's head is. It looks like the guy with two heads. Remember that '70s film where like the guy's head's over here? It's pretty funny.
But here's the thing: Microsoft.
Somebody got fired. Did somebody know if the person got fired or reprimanded? Somebody emailed contact at This Week in Startups and tell us the inside story because somebody got fired. I think somebody got fired.
I'd be curious to know.
I'd be
I
curious
hope they
to know.
email us.
Somebody email us.
Now, Microsoft, the mothership, Steve Ballmer didn't do this, but it all falls back on Microsoft.
Right.
Same thing could happen now with social media. Some guy in your office could be tweeting out. He's a Mahalo employee.
Yeah.
He could be almost a representative for you out in the world. How do you control that, and how do you apologize with it? How do you deal with it?
This is what I had to explain to people. There is no line between your social media presence and the company you work for. So, your private Facebook, your private MySpace, your private Twitter, when you're working for a company, it doesn't belong to the company, but you are representing the company. Just like when you go on a business trip somewhere and you go to a conference, you represent the company. You may be the guy who sets up the booth. You may be the guy who sets up the Wi-Fi in the booth. You could be the lowest guy on the totem pole. You get drunk and act like an ass. Your badge says Mahalo on it. I'm going to be pissed off. You got to represent the company at all times. And that's what I tell all my people. All my people do a great job representing the company. It doesn't take a genius to understand that when you're on social media and you're twittering something, it's in the public eye. Like somebody went to, what was the famous one? The guy went to some town and was like, why does somebody live here? Remember that one?
Yeah, it was
an ad agency
why
or something?
would anyone live here? Social media company that went to FedEx to help them with their social media strategy, and when he landed, the first thing he tweeted out was, why would anyone live here in Memphis, where he was going to help them with social media.
Yeah, you may not want to insult the entire city if you want their business, right? I mean, they all work in Memphis, and they make a life there with their kids, so anyway. People are, what's that? Retweeting is now live on Mahalo per your request on the show. Oh, thank you. That's a good one. So the retweeting is now on Mahalo. What is that, on Mahalo Answers? You're kidding.
So you asked for a feature a few minutes ago.
And during the show.
Put it on during the show while they were running the boards over there.
Yeah, that's why Mahalo has almost 10 million uniques this month. We may break 10 million uniques, and everybody here gets an iPhone 3GS. What?
You're talking about the two of us, too, and the Bulldog, right?
No.
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 All right.
I'll give you guys a nice tea. Well, that's great. Thank you to my staff for greatest team in the world. Maybe we'll go out for drinks tonight, if anybody in the room is listening. Maybe we'll leave early. I love features.
That's a lot of power. I'd be wondering what else can I say into the camera and have prepared once I'm out there.
I'll tell you, it's a lot of power.
Yes.
Except if you use it too much, then developers quit, or even worse, their wives say, Jason is evil, you cannot work for him, or they kick their developer out of the house, or any number of things. My last company, I had multiple wives who were ready to kill me. Multiple. And I have gotten a little bit calmer about pushing people a little too hard. And the bigger problem is I got Mark Jeffrey out there who pushes people really hard, so we got like a double madness issue, which is,
See, I would like a relationship blog from you. I know I'm getting a little away from the news here,
Yeah,
but
it's okay.
I don't know how you can stay on top here. You're in the office 24 hours, it seems like, and somehow you squeeze out and you do karate class. I don't know if people know that you're teaching karate too.
Yeah.
Right?
Take one
And
down.
you're driving around in the Tesla and testing all kinds of equipment in the car, flying out to conferences, and you're still married, and your wife loves you enough to have a baby with you and really commit to the relationship, right? That's more than a tattoo. How are you keeping that? If you blogged about that, I believe you, every guy with a ring would be stopping work to read how you do that.
That's interesting.
Isn't it?
Yeah, I'm not going to do that.
All right. Because
You gotta go and
I'm not gonna
talk about
Woo! You want me to basically talk about how I'm not divorced right now? I'll tell you how. My wife is very pregnant right now, and God love her. I mean, it is not easy to be pregnant. I've been doing great during this pregnancy. It's 6 months in. I feel great. I've lost weight. I feel great. I'm excited. I can't wait for December. I can't wait for the whole thing. Poor girl is having breathing issues, asthma, pains. I mean, making a baby's hard. So basically, the last 3 or 4 nights, every night I had something to do. Every single night. Including going to play poker. And there's a lot of guys down at Hollywood Park. A lot of these are Persian guys. They come, I play down there, there's a whole group of them, and then I do a whole bunch of guys from Vietnam I play with. They have a lot of money to give to me. And they want to give it to me. And I, the last 4 or 5 nights, I've been I'm jonesing to get in a poker game. I'm staying home, rubbing my wife's feet. You gotta have balance. You gotta understand when you need to be there. And so that's what I do. I understand when I need to be there. I put the time
Balance sounds
in.
like 50-50. I see you at conferences at least 80% of the time that you're awake.
Whatever.
No?
But you know, sometimes I take her with me. You don't see her.
I see.
She's in Athens with me. She's in Santorini. You grab 2 days here. So you got to know. What I try to do is I try to grab time when you can, and then really do something epic. That would be my secret for guys who are entrepreneurs, and you don't have a lot of time. Make the time you have epic. Do something. And this is the trick I had when I was dating. I always tried to. I had a girlfriend test. Which I probably have to edit this out of the show or make it into a segment and get a sponsor. It was eHarmony, Jason's relationship tips. Can we do this every week with eHarmony? Can eHarmony got $1,000 to sponsor the show? This show's going to make more than Mahalo at this point.
By the time you walk out of here, they will have eHarmony on as a sponsor.
I've said my salespeople are incredible. Yeah. Anyway, I would think if all these girls go hang out, they go have brunch. You see Sex in the City, they're drinking wine, they will talk about guys, blah, blah. And maybe they talk about a little about sex, but what they do is they show off to each other. And they talk about, oh, my boyfriend did this, and oh, my boyfriend did that. I always wanted to have the best story, that my girlfriend would tell them a story that would be so ridiculous that they'd all go, oh, he's so dreamy, what a guy. So I would always plan something. Go to a Broadway show, have a reservation, have the best table, go for a walk in the park, buy flowers, chocolate, whatever. Just think about 2 or 3 things that when they say it to their girlfriends are going to go, oh. So, for example, on Valentine's Day, when I first met my wife, I bought her a bunch of stuff, like Tiffany. I wasn't a rich guy back then. I was kind of broke, actually. But like, little Tiffany pendant, earrings. It's like maybe $300 worth of stuff. It wasn't like $30,000 worth of jewelry or something. But I put, each one of them was in the little Tiffany box. So then I was like, I could make a joke here. And I was walking by the chocolate store. You guys can all use this. I guarantee you, when you use this, you better call me and give me credit. And you better call into the show. I bought these 3 things. Then I'm walking by Godiva. And I'm like, I'm pretty hot stuff, because I'm getting her 3 little Tiffany boxes. I spent like $300 or $400. And some schlub, I see all these schlubs online, and, getting, like the $20 chocolate box. And then I said, aha, I got it. I went in and I bought the chocolate box from Godiva. There's nothing wrong with Godiva chocolate. It's nice. I opened it up. I took the 3 little bags out, got rid of the blue boxes, and I took out a couple of chocolates. I ate them. They're delicious. And I put the little bags in with the chocolates. Closed the chocolate, put it in a FedEx box. So I was living in New York. She was living out here. Send it to her. Happy Valentine's Day. She took it out. It's a box of chocolate. So, of course, it's a major letdown. This guy sent me a box of chocolate. It's not even like... So, I think she's going to open it up, and it's going to be this great surprise, right? Surprise, and she's going to tell that story to her girlfriends. It's going to be great.
She gives the box to somebody.
Oh, exactly. So, that's exactly right.
Oh, no.
So she takes the box, and she just, throws it on her kitchen table. She's pissed.
Yeah.
Her sister comes over, my sister-in-law now.
Yeah.
And she's like, oh, Jason got you chocolates? Can I have one? She's like, yeah, take them. She opens the box. She's like, oh, I think there's something in here for you. And she closes it and gives it back to her. It's like a week after, because I called her and I was like, hey, did you get my package? She's like, yeah, that was great, but nothing. Yeah. So I'm like, you sure you got it? And she's like, yeah. So anyway, that's just like a little thing you can do. That doesn't take much. It's a little extra creativity. And that's what girls want. They just want to show that effort. They want to see, because a guy's got a lot of things they want to do in life. This guy wants to launch a bunch of blogs. He's got a bunch of stuff he wants to do. He's busy. That's what he enjoys. He doesn't enjoy coming up with the idea I just came up with. That's not enjoyable for a guy.
I'd pay a monthly subscription to get ideas like that delivered to my inbox.
All right, well, maybe we'll have to do this every week. A segment for tech guys on how to mac on girls. Anyway, this is the kind of detail that you need. And guys just are not naturally programmed to do this. You have to make an effort to think like a girl and think about what they would like, something amazing. And it doesn't have to be, it's not about money or doing something expensive, The romantic things out there, like you could go take a girl on a hike with the greatest view. If you go to, this is another tip for you guys, you're local, right?
Yeah.
All right. You got a girlfriend?
I'm about to get married, yeah. This is golden.
All right, so here's one for you.
I'm hoping Scott writes all these down in his recap of the show.
Absolutely. Well, this is going to be a great recap, whoever writes it. So someone can get an iPhone for the recap. Go up to Temescal Canyon over here. There's an incredible hike.
Right.
Go get a loaf of French bread, piece of cheese, bottle of wine, put it in your backpack, and say, hey, baby, you want to go on a hike? Put on some clothes. We gotta get some exercise. Go up to the top. Walk up to the top of the sunset. Take out the French bread. Take the cheese. Get like a little knife, like a man's knife. So you look like a man, like, you know, those nice sharp ones. Pull out your man's knife, cut a piece of cheese, you put it on the bread, give it to her, a little wine, you drink it, you're sitting up there. All the other schmucks took the hike. The other guys knew to take the hike, but they didn't bring the cheese, the wine to see the sunset. Now you're sitting up there for half an hour, and everybody's looking at you, drinking the wine, eating the cheese, going, I should have brought cheese. And the other guys, they're going, the wives are going, why didn't you bring cheese and wine? You brought cheese and wine. The little surprise. Girls like that, and it shows effort. We'll talk about it after the show. Anyway, we should do the homework thing, because I got to give Audible. We have an Audible thing here, too. Homework. Let's do the homework. You have the chalkboard. You hear the chalkboard, and that means only one thing. It's time for homework. Now, everybody knows the homework for next week is The Accidental Billionaires, the Founding of Facebook. This is an audiobook. I haven't finished it yet. Got it downloaded from Audible. Tyler's got it downloaded from Audible. Alex got it downloaded. You have time. We're not going to talk about it this week, but you are going to download it. If you go to Audible Podcasts /TWiST. Audible Podcasts, is that right?
Audible Podcast.
Audible Podcast, not plural, /TWiST, you will get their $14.95 a month thing for half price for the first 3 months. This is a pretty good deal. $7, 2 audiobooks. Audiobooks are great. You're a member of Audible or not?
For years.
Okay.
Absolutely.
It's a great thing to do. You remember Audible or not? Be honest.
I remember it. I've never used them.
All right, so you're going to get Audible here. You're going to go to audiblepodcast.com/twist. TWiST. I need people to actually go do this and subscribe so Audible feels like they're getting some value. You're definitely going to get value out of it. But I'm going to up the ante. Here's what we're going to do. Can you grab me the Mahalo pack over here? We are going to, this is one of my ideas. This is to keep building the sponsorship, the social media. Okay, I showed you the Mahalo pack before. Mahalo pack is a hat. See here? The Mahalo hat. Here. It's an iPhone case. He's got his iPhone.
Yeah.
It's a mug. You guys don't have to put Andrew on.
I was thinking I'd at least get on camera for this. If I'm
so here's Andrew. He's got his hat. He's got his thing. He's got his Mahalo towel here. So now he's got a Mahalo towel, and he got a bag to wind up with his girlfriend, his fiance. So now he's all branded. I'm going to send you all that, and I am going to put. I made a lot of money playing poker at Hollywood Park the other night. A lot. One hand of poker, I made $1,500. I'm not kidding. I am running so hot right now that I am going to give every single person who emails their receipt from Audible to contact at This Week in Startups. I'm going to send them a Mahalo pack. The pack is like $50 worth of stuff. You know what swag costs.
Yeah.
It's $50 worth of swag. So you order Audible. It costs you nothing because it's free to sign up. You just got to give them your credit card. Try it for 3 months. I'm going to send you the entire pack. Then I am going to pull out of my knot. Got the big knot with all the hundies in it. I'm not going to put hundy in there. I'm going to put a 20 in the bag. And you know what that means? It means Audible is paying for the first half of your 3 months, right? Because they're giving you 3 months half price. I am essentially paying for the other half. So you're totally getting 3 months for free. Plus a Mahalo pack, because I want people out there thinking about Mahalo. So this is like $70 worth of stuff. And the incredible thing about it is you could cancel this in month 4 or whatever and never pay anything and still get all the swag. That's how much I believe you're going to love Audible the way I love Audible, the way Tyler loves Audible. Everybody loves Audible. audiblepodcast.com/twist, TWiST. The first 100 people to do it get the Mahalo pack, and they get. I'm literally going to put a $20 bill in it. 100 people. That's. Wait, how much is that?
20 times. Yeah.
How much?
$2,000.
Oh, no, I can't do that. 50. The first 50. The first 50 people who do it, and I think people could do it while we're on the show here. Start emailing and tell me, Alex, if anybody does it during the show, I want to know who so I can thank them during the show. But okay, so if anybody does during the show, let me know. But this is an idea, right? Because Audible is paying for a sponsorship. I am adding something to their sponsorship. If I get 50 people to sign up right now, If those people love the product as much as I know they will, and they use it for a year, Audible's going to make their money back from the sponsorship.
And they'll tell their friends about it.
Exactly. So this is a revolutionary idea in podcasting. I am investing in people trying the service. That's how much I believe in it. That's why they sponsored the show. And everybody should thank Audible_COM for supporting the show on Twitter.
You told us in the beginning of this program that you're going to teach people how to sell. This is the way to do it, right?
This is the way to do it. It's a purple cow or something. I'm doing something different. I'm going to take my own money at 20. I'm going to put a 20 in there. Crisp 20. With the towel, with the mug, with the thing, with the hat, with everything from Mahalo in a box to you, and you get your Audible. All you have to do is sign up right now. It takes 10 seconds to sign up. You're going to get an email back from them or something. Take a screenshot of the confirmation code or whatever. Email it to contact@thisweekinstartups. That's the proof. And boom. Booyakasha.
Wow.
We're done. If this is going to work, I got to think it's going to work. And people who are listening to the podcast next week or the week after, try it because I think it's going to work. I think it's going to take a while to get 50 people.
I hope it doesn't. I don't understand why somebody wouldn't have Audible. If you're an entrepreneur, if you're in business, you want to learn as much as possible. You don't have time to sit and read. When I see people sitting on trains in New York or driving around listening to just music or listening to nothing, I think what a waste of time.
It's a waste of time, right?
If you're ambitious, you want to learn as much as possible, and that's the way to do it. Now, you're doing 50 hours a show a week, but that's still not enough for most people.
Still not enough.
You need the Audible.
I got to tell you something, Andrew. That was very good.
Yes.
And I think Lon Harris, you may wind up having to fight for the seat because that was a much better commercial than Lon Harris does. I'll tell you that. All right, here we go. Next story.
Oh, I thought that was it. All right.
The Deadpool.
Oh, this is the hardest part for me. I hate to put people in the Deadpool.
Okay.
Where is it? Where is my Deadpool company?
Deadpool.
Here's the Deadpool right here.
Oh, that's a sad one.
We got big animation here. We gotta let it go through. So the Deadpool company is TipJoy. It's a micro payment system that works on social networks like Twitter. And this week it said that it was closing down. What do we do with this?
Well, first we have to explain to everybody that the reason we do the Deadpool is so we can learn something from these. Because we had people on the phone before. Great entrepreneurs failed before I failed. Everybody's failed. Maybe Matt hasn't failed, but whatever. He will. At some point he'll fail. Maybe you fail with you didn't go to college, you didn't meet a lot of chicks, so it sort of counts as a failure, but maybe you make up for it. Anyway, TipJoy failed. It was PayPal for Twitter. The problem with doing PayPal for Twitter or Facebook is that Facebook is going to do PayPal for Facebook or for Twitter. And I think there just wasn't enough there. I think that PayPal works good enough. Maybe making it work through a social network is not that much better than just me twittering you my email address. There wasn't enough unique functionality in it, I think. But they tried, and it's the right idea. People should be able to, through the social network, exchange money. I guarantee you Twitter and Facebook will have payments within 18 months. I guarantee you they'll both be successful at doing so. Although Google, were they successful with Google Checkout? Meh.
Not yet.
Meh. But I think PayPal's a juggernaut. In fact, I think PayPal becomes a bigger business than eBay itself. Financial services, huge business. PayPal, they should rename eBay PayPal. Or separate the two companies. eBay one thing, PayPal another. PayPal's going to be bigger. They should go into a lot more financial services stuff. Because I use PayPal, but I can't replace my Bank of America with it yet. They should really get into checking more and all the other services that people need, 401ks, make it a financial service company. TipJoy, we salute you. Fondue? Fondue.
Fondue wants the bag.
Who wants TipJoy? Who wants to get this? Uh-oh. Tourists and Fondue. Who gets TipJoy? Who wants it? Come on, guys. You gotta really get it. They're really chewing it up now. Okay, there you go, guys. Take it. Take it into the Deadpool. Good puppies. Good puppies.
Did you not have that one dog fixed? That's got to be Taurus, right?
He's not fixed.
He's not fixed.
No, I don't fix the bulldogs because they're going to kill you with kisses. They're not aggressive dogs. And if you clip them, they get fat.
What about impregnating the neighbors?
If this dog impregnates a female dog, I'm going to make $3,000 a puppy. I will make almost as much as I make at Hollywood Park off of those dogs. So I can't. That's what these. Oh my God, these guys are going crazy in there. I like the way he's like stepping on Jimmy Fails. That's nice. I had like a whole vet trying to explain this to me, like how I had to, and that was the argument. She was like, well, I mean, they're going to impregnate each other. I was like, and I'm going to sell 5 puppies for $3,000 each? I mean, where's the problem? Like, these are purebred dogs. Like, that's not an issue. And they, by the way, they can't mount each other. They have all kinds of issues.
They can't?
Not really. It's artificial insemination.
I see.
And it's cesarean. So this is a freak of nature, these dogs. They're actually changing the whole standard. It's another show. All right, This Week in Dogs.
Well, no, first This Week in Relationships should be the next show, and then This Week in Dogs somewhere down the road.
Well, you know, I bought the domain name thisweekin.com.
Ooh, really?
Not that I have any plans.
To sell it back to Leo Laporte?
No. I could just list his shows on my portal and send traffic to him and to me.
I see.
Could be the aggregator of things or something. It's only $15,000.
Is that what it cost?
Yeah.
That's pretty good. How many domains do you own? I know that you own a bunch.
A couple hundred.
Yeah?
Maybe 1,000.
Do you own AndrewWarner.com?
Tyler, go buy AndrewWarner.com, please. We'll sell it back. Thank you. Sell it back for double. AndrewWarner.me, please.
We're going to auction it off on Flippa.
Yeah, I'm going to sell it on Flippa. Okay.
I've got more news if you wanted.
Let's give me one more news.
One more last piece of news?
Yes.
The Wall Street Journal reported that Steve Jobs is obsessed with the Apple tablet computer. Now, we know that Bill Gates had a similar obsession. He wanted to create the tablet PC, but customers pretty much yawned.
Yes.
Do you think that Apple's version is going to be a hit like the iPhone, or is it going to be a flop like Apple TV?
It depends on price. This is the issue with this device. The iPhone is very expensive, right? What does it cost?
I think you said $70,000?
Well, I think it's like it's like $7,000 for an iPhone. It's $200 if you have a plan. Everybody has to have a plan anyway, so let's just call it $200. And it's a phone, you have to have it. I don't have to have the tablet. So if the tablet's going to be more money than this, it's probably going to be $1,000, $700. What is it going to? If it's the mini one, it's like, is it really going to be that much of a better experience? I think yeah, you're going to get the wonky gadget freaks to buy it. But I don't know why your mom buys one that's this much bigger instead of the iTouch. If it's $600, $700, $800, it's too much money. When you get to the $600, $700, $800, people can buy a laptop with Windows 7 on it or whatever, and then they're going to start thinking about. So you're going to fall right in between those two things. I don't think it's like a netbook. People look at netbooks and say, I can buy a laptop for $400. I'm not going to get a $1,000 laptop. It is a laptop replacement, a netbook. This is not going to be a laptop replacement in all likelihood. It's going to be some other device, and you're not going to carry it around with your laptop. You're not going to carry it with your phone. I don't see it.
Yeah.
I think some rich people will have it as like their Questron in their living rooms, like use it to control things and change the music and the lighting and remote control. Some people may have it on planes, but if it has the back thing, like a DVD player. But I think it's going to be kind of nichey. I'm certainly not going to replace a laptop.
So what's the pain that it's solving? I understand that netbooks, you didn't want to carry a big computer when you were traveling, or you didn't want to spend a lot of money on a laptop. But do we really have a problem with the computers as they are, and we need just the screen?
Is it competing with Sonos? That's a niche market.
Is it competing with the Kindle?
Niche market.
Right.
It's going to be too expensive.
But you can't rule out Steve Jobs' creativity. If there's a way to make this work, he's going to be the guy to do it.
Right, and that's why we all have cubes on our desk.
And probably Bill Gates should have waited for Steve Jobs to be excited about this and come out with the tablet, and then he should have done the cheaper version of Steve Jobs' idea.
There's people who use the tablet. The problem is, you look like an idiot when you use a tablet PC. You ever go to a conference and I don't know, Shell Israel, or I don't know who's into these tablet things. Somebody comes up like a clown.
Scoble with it, yes.
Right, exactly, my point. So like some clown like Scoble comes up, everybody's working on their laptops, and he goes, hey, I'm Robert Scoble. And he picks up his laptop, turns it around, flips it over, and it's like, I'm writing a note. Look, I'm using a pen. And it's like, really? I'm using a keyboard typing 70 words a minute, and you are, like, wow, are you kidding me? All those people just bought Audible? Yeah. Scott Simcoe bought Audible. Ike Barnes bought Audible. Alberto Savadero bought Audible. Ramses Lordison bought Audible. Ovid Nugrin bought Audible. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 people already.
You know what's awesome about that?
What?
Those are all international, and your shipping's going to be about $50 a piece.
Holy Christ almighty. Thank you, Tyler. Did we say something about international? I'll have to deliver it in person. I'll send Tyler on the Mahalo jet. Hey, listen. Quantcast 200 site to all the haters. What? Tyler knew. Tyler knew.
Looks like you're going to need another round of funding. That's what I'm getting here.
No, we still have, I think we have 51 months of, we did a board meeting this week, we have 51 months of capital in the bank at the current burn rate.
Does that take into account all the stuff you're giving away?
No, the swag, I think we're down to 42 months after the swag.
We kept that slide out of the board deck. On the
yes, that's it. The $20, just so people know, is coming out of my pocket. That's where the 20's coming. Mahalo is Mahalo, but it is my money to a certain extent. Last news story, anything?
Last news story is, yes, Bitly is now shortening URLs for Google, for CBS, for Typepad, in addition to the links that it's already shortening for Twitter. Are websites making a mistake by turning over their URLs to shortening services like Bitly?
There is some benefit to doing it. Obviously, you get the statistics and stuff like that. What I think is going to happen is everybody will have their own. It'll be built into web services and stuff like that. So we have one at Mahalo. It's mhlo.me. TechCrunch has their own shortener. Yep. But then I see TechCrunch is using Bitly again now because you get the statistics. So I think there's going to have to be something permanent in Bitly. Bitly should do a thing like what they say, we've established the Bitly Trust. And we've put $10 million in a bank. This is a really good idea. I'm going to send this to John Borthwick. Bitly should put $10 million in a bank account after they get their next round of funding, whatever. Or an insurance policy that says, we guarantee, certified by Ernst & Young, that we are going to keep this service up for the next 100 years, and we have allocated $100,000 a year to put these servers in place, or whatever. We have a $10 million contract to do that. No matter what happens with the company, the URLs are in a trust, and the trust will always do permanent redirects, so that if the company gets sold or bought or shuts down, they have to agree to that trust. That would be pretty clever.
Until that happens, we're going the build your own route.
Yes. I'm very concerned about it, I would say. But I know the guy John Borthwick who made Bitly, and it's going to get bought by Google. I'm pretty much guaranteeing it. Bitly will be bought by Google or Yahoo, maybe Microsoft in the next 12 months.
Any chance that Twitter is going to be in there buying?
No.
No.
Facebook and Twitter could make a run at it. I could see both of them buying it, yeah. I think John would probably take max money. Then again, he sold Surmise, John Borthwick from BetaWorks. He sold Surmise to Twitter, and he has a nice chunk of equity in Twitter now. So actually, he could do a double down. A lot of times you'll see that. He'll double down, they give him a little more equity, now he's got, But then again, that Facebook equity would be pretty sweet too.
Could he say we are not, could Twitter say to Bitly, we are not going to run you guys?
Yeah, of course.
We might be interested in buying you if it's for.
Well, I mean, of course they can. That's gangster, but they don't need to be that gangster because they can just go and say, we're launching. They can just say very quickly, we're going to build our own service or buy yours. It's going to cost us $1 million to build ours. We'll buy yours for $15 million.
See, that's the way to dress up the gangster offer.
Yes.
Right? I like that.
It's just, but I mean, it's realistic. I've had this happen. I had this situation happen with Weblogs Inc., where I had bloggers who I wanted to come work for us, and I was like, we're going to do, this type of blog anyway, with you or with somebody else. That's just the nature of it. We're going to do a blog about video games. We'd like to do it with you. Either you can work with us, or you're going to compete with us. That's just natural in business. It happens. I mean, it's the way it is. Everything's fair. All right. Matt, good show.
Thank you.
We only did 2 hours and, take out the technical problems, 2 hours and 20 minutes. Short show. And we will see everybody next week on This Week in Startups live next week.
I think you got to thank all the sponsors.
Thank the sponsors. Everybody should. Thank the sponsors, rate the show. Everybody take a moment to thank the sponsors and rate the show. I will pick somebody from this group that does it. These are the people who made it to the end. I will pick somebody for a free ticket to TechCrunch 50, which is now like $2,000 because we're past the early bird.
And it would be $3,000
as of September 1st, whatever, the real price, not the recession buster stuff. So $3,000 ticket to TechCrunch 50. Thank the sponsors right now and rate the show. The sponsors are at DNA Mail, at WebSpy, at Ustream, and at Audible_com. And I see that some people are here, and I see some people are buying the Audible.
2 more subscriptions.
2 more subscriptions came in, so that's 7 out of 50. We still got 43 left. There's plenty of time in the next week to do that. And this person says he read my name on This Week in Startups. Jason still has to work on his Romanian. Sorry about that. And rate the show. Let me see. Is it a 1? Is it a 10? How do we do? The only problem with this is the caching on Twitter search. Sometimes it takes like 5 minutes for their cache to refresh, and I don't get the...
One other bit of news.
Is there a bit of news? What?
Yeah, the Deadpool's officially in the Deadpool.
Oh, there we go. Let's see it. Oh man, how much did that thing cost? $15? All right, that's fine. I can't believe that they've killed the Deadpool.
It's kind of meta.
That's pretty meta that the Deadpool is dead. Let me tell you what's else going to be dead. Whoever's handling the internet connection is going to be dead if we have another mix-up. Hey-o! All right, so next week, live from Sequoia. And thanks to Matt for being on the show. Everybody try SitePointForum.com.
SitePoint and 99 Design.
SitePoint.com. 99 Designs. And?
Flippa.
Flippa. F-L-I-P-P-A. Everybody go check out Andrew Warner at MixerG. M-I-X-E-R-G-G-G.
No, M-I-X-E-R-G-Y.
E-R-G-Y. MixerG. MixerG. And Tweets Ho says 9.5 out of 10. Wow. And he thanks the sponsors. And he is coming to TechCrunch 50. Tweet Zoo. Z-H-O-U. And I don't know where he's from, but he is coming to TechCrunch 50 if he can make it here. He is from San Francisco. So he's going to have to make it all the way over to... I'm going to follow him. I like to follow the people who... This is another thing. If you want to get followed by a web-lebrity... Web-lebrity?
Web-lebrity, I think that's...
If you want to be followed by... If anybody tweets about the show, if you use the TWiST hashtag, I pretty much follow everybody. That's a good way to sort of get in communication. Okay. Great show, everybody. Thank you, Tyler, for your insights. We'll see you next time.
Insights from Tyler.